Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Podcast, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Ringside Robert, and England's adopted son, Joe Habib, and Beeb Industries, still alive and well. We have a great show for you today. We'll talk all about that. You can catch us on the web today at ringsidereporter.com. If you want to call and ask questions or just give your 2 cents, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857. Hit option 1 if you want to talk to us, and we're going to be here till about 9 tonight. Today, we're going to talk about a shocking situation. Adrian Broner has gone to jail again. We'll give you the latest. Robert, they just keep keeping him down, man. They keep him down. I don't know what to do.
Well, hey, he earns our Adrian Broner train wreck of the week almost each and every week. But I got some good news for him, though. He's going to have a hell of a fight in July, which he will not survive.
Ah, how dare you? How dare you? Is this with a judge? This must be with a judge. We'll talk about it later. Miguel Cotto has a fight scheduled. Miguel Cotto has a fight scheduled, and it is a can't-miss fight. You have got to see this fight. Not really, but we'll talk about it anyway. But first, we get started with Kell Brook versus Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. beat Kell Brook on Saturday at Bramall Lane in the UK in front of about 30,000 rabid British fans. This was a very good fight, man. It was funny. Like, during the press conferences, you could tell that Spence was the bigger guy when they were standing face-to-face. But when they got in the ring, man, it looked like Brook was the bigger of the two. He looked a lot more muscled up, like thicker, you know. Brook started off very well, and for the first 6 rounds, I think the scores were kind of all over the place. I had Spence ahead 4 rounds to 2, but quite a few people seem to have Brook ahead 4 rounds to 2. This was actually a real difficult fight to score, man, for the early parts, man. Maybe Spence started off a round well, but then Brook would end it well. It was just difficult to score. And I couldn't really knock anybody who had it 4-2 the other way as well, because it was just one of those things, man. The difference in this fight to me was the body work that Spence was doing all throughout the fight. You could really see Kell Brook start to wear down in the middle and later rounds. Spence took over the fight in the later rounds and was really getting to Brook. You could see Kell Brook's eyes starting to swell right around round 7. In the 9th round, it appeared to me that he couldn't see anything. And while Spence is known for that big left hand he's got, it was the right hand that was actually doing all the damage here. Spence knocked down Brook in the 10th, but to Brook's credit, man, he got up and he finished strong. I still scored the round 10-8 for Spence, but it was a good comeback for Brook. Very good round. But I think that was pretty much it. It turned out that was all he had. Spence came out in the 11th and really put in some shots. Kell Brook went down to one knee after a clinch. They clinched up to the ropes. He backed off, and then as soon as they went to engage again, he just went to one knee on the ropes. You could tell at that point it was on purpose. You could tell Brook was having issues with his eye. The ref came over and counted. Brook looked to me like he raised up by the count of 9, but the ref waved it off. My guess is that Brook told him he didn't want to continue. It goes in. I thought he was up by 9. I was trying to read the ref's lips because, I've seen him say 8, 9, and then Brook was up. But it goes in the record books as a KO. On BoxRec, they've got it listed as a KO, so that's what we go by. Kell Brook.
That's how it went. Knockout victory.
Yeah, I mean, and Kell Brook, he took a lot of heat for this, man. Kell Brook did quit this fight. No question about it. I mean, he called him over. He didn't get knocked out. I mean, he got knocked out technically, but the thing is, he did quit the fight. He went down. There was no punch thrown. He went down. The ref counted him out or whatever, and then he got up. He did quit the fight. But that being said, I don't really classify him as a quitter. And before I hear anyone call him a quitter, man, I guess, my guess would be that nobody's ever been in that situation. Nobody's ever been in that situation with a broken eye socket and had to fight. Certainly nobody that, listens to this show. Anybody who calls in and says, he's a coward, or all the people on the internet, of course, that have been saying this and over, that he's a coward. And he's taking a lot of heat on Twitter. But, man, I mean, listen, he made the right decision. And he knows what a broken eye socket feels like in his last fight. This fight, it was the other eye. So my guess, like I said, he knows what it feels like. He knew what he was in store for. And listen, man, I mean, when you're talking about losing your sight, and that's very well what could happen to any other punch, I mean, there could be permanent damage there. You don't know what's going on. He quit the fight, but I got to tell you, man, I don't blame him. This was not like a Klitschko-Chris Bird quit, and Klitschko quit because of a shoulder injury. This was, I mean, listen, man, you use your eyes every day. You may take them for granted, but you use them every day. So good win for
Eric. I can personally speak on this.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I've had eye issues. Yeah, I've had eye issues all my life. Now, granted, I was born with my condition, but after what I saw yesterday, I'm never going to call Kell Brook a quitter. And any respectful boxing fan, on the internet or not, if you truly love the sport, you'll never call him a quitter, because take it from somebody that does not have all of his eyesight. It's not pleasant to be without. And I know Eddie Hearn talked, after the fight about Kell Brook moving up and fighting Amir Khan, and Kell Brook said, I can still fight at 147. You know what? When you start playing with your eyesight, you might want to think about something else to do, because something tells me he's going to have surgery on that eye, just like he had to have surgery after the Golovkin fight. And to go in the ring with two titanium eyeballs, so to speak, you're just going to continue to do more damage to yourself, and may permanently wind up in a situation like I'm in every day. Now, Kell Brook is a talented fighter. I'd love to see him continue, but speaking from the experience that I live every day of my life, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if he walked away.
Robert, give me your assessment of the fight. How did you see the fight going off?
Well, I'm one of the ones that scored it 4-2 for Brook after 6. And then the remaining 6 rounds I gave to Spence. I ended up 6-4 for Spence, because I didn't score, the round didn't finish in the 11th. So, but my scorecard was 6-4 for Spence. And hey, credit to both of them. I thought this fight was going to end early. I thought Spence was just too strong for him. I thought losing the weight for Brook was going to be difficult. They came in tremendous shape. Errol did what he had to do, and now he wants one time a year Keith Thurman. Let's see if that actually occurs.
One time a year. Beeb, what did you think of the fight, man?
Man down! Man down!
Beeb Industries, baby.
Beeb Industries
does it.
We survived
again, baby.
I had the banks calling me up. They were worried. I told them, don't worry. We got this in the bag. Around the 10th round, I had Bank of America calling me up. I said, don't worry. Don't worry. Keep everything intact. Don't sell anything off just yet. We're in good shape. Don't worry about it. I saw something. But again, this was a great fight. This was a very entertaining fight. This was a fight where Errol Spence just said to himself, I'm going to find a way. And he seemed to be a little bit off. Admittedly, he said he was a little bit off timing-wise. The layoff kind of, he said, played a factor into things. I thought he did well, but I thought he had a hard time timing Brook's jab early on. Thought Brook landed a couple of good right hands. But as Al Bernstein said, Spence wasn't just going in there winging wild shots. He kept everything tight. The hands were up. He was blocking a lot of shots. Box was way off there. They said that Brook only landed like 14 jabs. 14 that was utterly ridiculous. 14 jabs. No, thought Brook did a good job with the jab early on. One thing I mentioned, because I talked about this fight earlier in a video I made yesterday, I mentioned how Spence, with the upper body movement, slipping and sliding, bending at the waist, never keeping his upper body on the center line. I thought he didn't really use a lot of upper body movement. I seen him be a little bit more slicker and a little bit more elusive with that head and shoulders and bending at the waist and putting himself off to the side. But one thing he did do well was he did not accept the clinch. Brook would seem to grab him, try to contain him, and he was always able to at least wiggle one arm free, and he was punching with the free hand, something that Sean Porter was not able to do in their fight. So the thing was, I didn't think that Brook would be able to even contain the one arm from Spence, because I thought he'd be, bending and moving and getting low and ducking underneath and constantly being off center. So I didn't think, Brook would be able to grab. But even when he was able to grab Spence, as I said, he couldn't contain him. Spence, big, strong, physical guy, and he just wasn't having it. He was determined to do his work on the inside, by hook or by crook. So he would not be denied on the inside, and that was the main factor in this fight. They can say what they want about the weight. We already knew. We said this. We said this, last week, that people were going to, say that Golovkin did this to him. That's why, he had to come down and weight. Should have went to 154. We already knew the alibis were in place. I'm not surprised. You're not surprised. So it is what it is. And people with the Twitter fingers on there, they want to sit there and try to discredit Errol Spence's win. Because Errol Spence was the man that beat Brook, not Golovkin. Golovkin already had his day in the sun when he beat him last year. This was Errol Spence's day. Enough with the Golovkin talk, because Errol Spence broke the other orbital bone on the other side of the face, not the same one that Golovkin broke. So he gets a broken orbital bone at 160. Now he gets one at 147. Now, if he goes up to 154, what's the guarantee that the same injury could not happen again at that weight? You see what I'm saying? So weight played nothing into his face getting cracked again. Okay? Because no matter how much weight you put on, okay, your bone is your bone. It's you can't do anything to protect your bone. If you get, hit in a certain spot, unfortunately, you could break your face, which happens. Okay? So then they want to say later in the fight that because of him fatiguing later in the fight, that it was due to the drop in weight. Okay. So the body shots had nothing to do with that? Picking up the pace of the fight and putting on more pressure, that had nothing to do with that? Let's face it. Errol Spence took this fight up a notch in that second half, and he just was determined. And he said to Kell Brook, "You are not going to win this fight. This is my fight." That's what he said. This was a guy, 21 fights, 27 years old, had 27,000 people against him. Everyone was cheering against him in this fight. And then he went into the lion's den and he just took it. So we got to give him full credit for this. And, full credit to Brook too. He tried his best. This fight was competitive. I thought that Spence would probably win a little bit more easily than he did. But if you look at the scorecards at the end, I still had him comfortably ahead. I had him up, I believe it was 77-72 at the time of the start. Let me look at my scorecard real quick so I can just make sure. But I had him up several points at the end. And after 6, like I said, I still had him up 4-2. And I know some people had it even. And I had it actually, 97-92 at the end at the point of the stoppage. And after 6, I had it 4 rounds to 2 for Spence. So, I thought the rounds were competitive, and I think some of them were hard to score. But it was clear after the 6th round that this was definitely Spence's fight, and the tide definitely turned, and Brook just looked like he had the wind taken out of his sails. And credit that to Spence picking up the pace and putting in that work to the body. So sky's the limit for Errol Spence right now. I think he put all the welterweights on notice. I think he fought the second best welterweight in the world last night, and I think he's the best welterweight in the world. And you can say what you want about Keith Thurman, but I think that Errol Spence will knock out Keith Thurman easier than he knocked out Kell Brook, in my opinion.
You know what's funny about the whole fight? I think it was right around the 6th or 7th round. I'm watching the fight, and I thought to myself, these guys are two evenly matched fighters. I didn't see an advantage really for one or the other. Like I said, I had it 4 rounds to 2 in the 6th round. Other people, had it 4 rounds to 2 the other way. But these guys were two very evenly matched fighters until it goes down the stretch. I mean, and you have to think at that point who wants it more. It's almost like if anybody, I know Davey Boy Essex, I know what I'm talking about. When you talk about chess players, you have two good chess players, and you watch the board and you watch it, and you could see during the game, there's moves that are made that kind of put people in favor. That puts one, either white or black in favor. But it happens very slowly. And in this case, you watched it with Errol Spence doing that body work early, put him in great position to do what he did down the stretch. And Kell Brook didn't do what he needed to do to put himself in better position down the stretch. The other thing I want to talk about, too, is like the weight issue. Everybody thought that the weight would be a big issue. Now, whether it was or wasn't, I have no idea. But what I do know is that body attack that Spence put on him from round 1 on really played a big part in him getting tired. Now, did the weight cut getting down to 47 play a big part? I don't know. But I know that definitely the body work of Spence did the job. I don't think, and another thing, man, is I don't think that this was a toss-up fight for me, man. Just watching it, I thought Spence was really going to run over Kell Brook, and it didn't work out like that. I mean, he won the fight fair and square, but I don't think anything that happened with the Triple G fight, the weight cut, anything, I don't think any of that played any factor in this fight at all. In fact, if you go back to the Triple G, just like Joe said, it's a different eye. It's a different eye that was cut. And, it wasn't like he was a different fighter. He looked good. I mean, Kell Brook looked really, really good in this fight for a lot of it. So I don't know, man, but great win for Errol Spence for sure. Do you think, Robert, let me ask you, do you think he gets past Keith Thurman?
I said it last week, Eric, and I'm going to say it again. He beats every current welterweight. He blows them all out of the water. This is the beginning of a very long title reign. I don't see anybody in the division currently that can even give Errol Spence issues. I think this is the beginning of a rising star who's going to dominate this division for as many years as he wants to, or if he decides to move up at a later date. I think he controls the welterweight division from here on out for as long as he wants it.
I got to agree with you, man. I don't think that Thurman puts up – I think the Thurman fight is an easier fight than Brook was, because I think Brook, the Brook that we saw last night, I think beats Keith Thurman. I think he beats Keith Thurman no problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But no, I firmly believe that he dominates this division from here on out, and you're gonna see all 147-pound fighters now try to avoid fighting him because of what he did yesterday. I mean, people were complaining that nobody wanted to fight him beforehand. If he was supposed to look terrible to get somebody in the ring, he didn't succeed in that. I think he's going to have issues getting fights. What do you guys think about that?
Realistically, I don't know who he fights. I got to be honest. I mean, and Keith Thurman is a very makeable fight, but Keith Thurman's not coming back till late 2017, maybe.
Yeah, November at the earliest.
Yeah, right, at the earliest. And Spence was just complaining that he was off, and that his timing was off, and he likes to fight more frequent. Look, man, I mean, really, I mean, who do you have? I mean, who would you match him up with? I mean, because I don't think Keith Thurman gets him next. I just think that, maybe he doesn't want to wait that long. I mean, if I were him, and does Keith Thurman really want to come back to that fight? I don't know.
Keith Thurman won't fight him first fight back. There's no way it'll happen.
Porter.
Yeah, he won't fight him. He won't fight him first fight back.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I don't think so either. But I think like Sean Porter, Lamont Peterson, any one of those guys, Danny Garcia, any one of those three, I would love to see.
I was just gonna say what Champ Ross said in the chat. I think he fights Collazo. Collazo's fighting Alexander. I heard. I think Collazo beats Alexander. But I agree with Champ Ross. I think he fights the winner of that fight.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think you're probably right. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him fight Collazo. I think he's going to wash Collazo with no problem. And I think he would wash Devin Alexander with no problem. Either one of those,
Talk about a layup. Those are two layups right there.
Someone just asked me a question in the chat that if Brook never fought Golovkin and fought Spence first, would the outcome be the same? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to go one better. If this fight was at 154, I think Spence beats him at 154 too. I think Spence would be bigger and stronger at 154, and he would have the same advantages that Brook would have, and probably even more. Just think Spence is a better fighter, and the difference was, as I said. Wait, let me just finish the point, Robbie, please. I think the difference was
the
inside game, because what really took the wind out of Brook's sails was that body work. And in order for that body work to be successful, he got up close, he got inside, and he was just constantly landing something to the body when he was in there. It wasn't like he would be in there and he would not land a body shot. Every time he was up close, he landed a body shot, whether it be one, whether it be two, whether it be three. He always made that, deposit into the friggin' basement. He just always left something off there when he was up close. And that was the difference. A lot of guys have not been able to do that when they got up close to Kell Brook. And that was the difference in the fight.
Yeah, I would go along with that, man. I would go along with that. So realistically, Beeb, who do you? So that's what you think then? Collazo should be next.
I think he'll get the winner. I see Collazo beating Alexander. To be honest with you, I think Alexander hasn't really looked great lately, and I just think Collazo is a strong. I think Collazo's a bigger puncher. I don't think he's as quick, but I just think he's a more accurate puncher than Devin Alexander, and he's just a little bit more craftier with the offense. And I see him being able to impose his will on. He was able to do Victor Ortiz. So yeah, I see Collazo winning that fight, and then I see him fighting Spence.
Do you think? Do you think though? Like PBC says, you know what? We've got a superstar now. We can hype this kid. Do you think Collazo's the guy to do that? Or would you? Do you think he goes against putting my promoter hat on, I stay away from Collazo. At this point, I give this kid big fights. I give this kid a Porter, big names anyway. I give him a Porter. I give him Garcia. I give him somebody. Feed it to them. And Porter will take that fight. I don't know if Garcia would take that fight. I don't know if Thurman takes that fight. But I know that, that Porter should take that fight. I don't
think it's a bad move fighting Porter next. And I hope you're right. Does Porter want that fight right away, though? Would he accept that fight right away?
He was there yesterday at the fight, guys.
Yeah, Porter's always pining for a fight, man. He's always there, and he's always trying to, get into somebody. He's the one that, made his last fight against who was the guy's name? I can't remember. Andre Berto.
And I have to say something. Unfortunately, Eric, mysteriously, Porter is not ranked in the IBF at all, and guess who's ranked number 3? I think he's either 3.
It was Collazo, yeah.
Collazo's ranked number 3. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the writing's on the wall. Whether it's fair or not, you have to fight someone ranked. And poor Sean Porter, because I really like Sean Porter as a fighter.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he's in the top 4 or 5, maybe top 3 welterweights. Honestly, I think he would beat Danny Garcia. I would my top 3 welterweights, and again, I know the Manny Pacquiao fans are going to go crazy, but I think all these young bucks beat Manny Pacquiao right now.
Absolutely, 100%.
I just think they do. And then someone said, well, you have to rank him at the number 1 because of what he's done.
No.
Oh, okay. So when I was 21, I could run a 4.5 40. Do you rank me the same now that I'm 47?
Right.
I mean, I'm still an alpha male, but I'm still not the alpharist male like I was when I was 21. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
So I hate when people say that, oh, well, you got to rank Manny Pacquiao number one for what he's accomplished and what he's done.
No.
That would be like me going into a job. Yeah, 10 years ago, I was the best accountant in the world, but for some reason, I lost all my clients. But back then, I was a good accountant. Will you hire me?
Right.
No. You can't do shit like that in the real world. So
I quit accounting. Yeah, I quit accounting, and then for 10 years, I'm off bagging groceries, but now I'm ready to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I was the best. I was the best accountant in 2003.
Right.
You should have saw my numbers back then. I'm ready to go back into it. What do you think, buddy? Well, throw me some crumbs?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, you know. With all due respect to Manny Pacquiao, Hall of Fame fighter, but these guys are going to beat him today.
Yeah.
They're going to beat him today because it doesn't last forever. So my top three, I'm going to say Spence, I'll say Thurman, and I'm going to say Porter, and then I'll put Garcia under him. That's just that's my opinion. And again, like that's just based on who I think would beat who. You know?
Yeah. And Hand Rap says, but Manny's still winning. Yeah, but who's he fighting? Jeff Horn? I mean,
winning.
Who's he fighting?
Winning.
He's fighting Jeff
See,
Horn.
the problem you have with
why is he fighting Jeff Horn?
he's not fighting anybody.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Manny Pacquiao's fighting Jeff Horn and he's not fighting Terrence Crawford. There's a reason why.
That's it. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he's not fighting anyone. You know, you're calling out Jeff Horn, and then did you hear the ridiculous stuff Freddie Roach is saying in the to the papers and stuff like that? I don't know, man. Jeff Horn's he's trying his best to promote this fight because he knows it's a lousy show. You know, oh, Jeff Horn's got a punch on. He's got me really worried. Man, he's not in good form. I think Horn might get him. You know, he's got a really good shot. Get out of here.
Right.
So Freddie Roach is he's just so easy to see through, man. So easy.
Yeah.
This is basically if we can't look at this, anyone can't look at this and say this is just him hyping up the fight to try to garner interest in the fight. Then I mean, then you were born yesterday if you can't see through this.
Well, and Champ Ross just said in the chat, he said Horn is the #1 contender. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Manny is bigger than the belt. Manny can give up the belt and fight one of these younger guys. How many #1 contenders did Mayweather fight when he?
No, he's the #2 contender actually.
Yeah, I mean, how many
one that I
#1s
know
did
of
he
is
have?
Robert Errol.
Right.
Tim Bradley's still the #1 contender, and Jeff Horn's ranked #2, and he already fought Tim Bradley 3 times. So why would that sanctioning body rank Tim Bradley as #1 after he's already lost 3 times to the champion in that sanctioning body?
Tony Yayo is the Horn fight going to be on pay-per-view? Unfortunately. Who would you rather watch? Would you rather watch Mayweather McGregor or Pacquiao Horn?
And then mysteriously, Sean Porter's not ranked in the WBO either. So you mean to tell me if Sean Porter fought Jeff Horn, how many of you guys would pick freaking Jeff Horn?
Right.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Let's use some logic here, please.
Well, and look, keep one thing in mind. You can't take Manny Pacquiao seriously at this stage of his career until he's willing to step in the ring with somebody, whether it's Terrence Crawford, whether it's Errol Spence, whether it's Sean Porter. He's got to fight somebody. Jeff Horn is a nobody. We don't know who the hell Jeff Horn is. We don't know nothing about him. We've never seen him. We don't know how good he is. I mean, they could have pulled him off the streets in Australia and said, guess what? You're putting on a set of gloves. And you're fighting Manny Pacquiao. This could be a setup like McGregor and Mayweather.
Incidentally, where is, when we talk about Beeb Industries and everything like that, where is Georgie? Is he in the chat? I haven't seen Georgie in the chat. Is he in there?
He ain't going to be around, man. He ain't going to be around. That's all right.
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
We don't need Georgie around right now. You know why? Because Beeb Industries stock has quadrupled over the last 24 hours, with or without Georgie. You can't stop the Beeb.
Georgie, man. Poor Georgie, man. He gets a new intro. He gets a brand new intro if he wins, and just put the screws to it. And I'm thinking right around the 6th round, I'm like, Man, this fight's going the distance. Nobody's knocking anybody out. This is a distance type of fight, man. Sure enough.
I saw the body language. I saw the body language.
Yeah, you saw the third round when he rocked.
I knew it was over. I knew it was over.
Your next title defense is June 17th, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Andre Wood, baby. Andre Wood, baby.
Oh,
there you go.
God. All right.
SOG.
Let's head to the phones here. I think this is Wood.
Yeah.
Wood, are you on?
Yeah, what's good, fellas?
What's up, man?
Hey, Wood, what's up?
Not much, man. Happy holiday weekend.
Thank you, sir. What'd you think of the Spence fight?
Well, interesting. I think Beeb touched on it. I was just sitting there, in the fourth, fifth round, just kind of missing the slickness that we used to see with, somebody like a Mayweather, some of the earlier Mosley fights a little bit. But both, I don't know if Spence was maybe a little nervous or something, but Brook was just getting off balance a lot and just looking pretty, just looking a little crude a lot earlier in the fight.
Do you think that was, and I heard Spence allude to that after the fight, that, it was a lot of ring rust and it was this and it was that. How much of that, and I'll ask everybody here, how much of that was actually bad Spence and good Brook? Because Kell Brook looked really good in the first part of that fight. In the first half of that fight, he looked great. So how much of that was actually Brook taking his timing away and everything like that?
Yeah, I give Brook a lot of credit. I think he was breaking up his rhythm a lot. He was catching him with that right jab over his a lot, and just doing some stuff. This was a guy a major step up for Spence, and coming off of the 9-month layoff. I think it was to be expected, but and I think you even liked my tweet that I put out there. I thought it was great to see the guys have a little animus for one another. And, it wasn't all of the glove tapping and, some of the stuff that we see in fights. I like that it was a bit of a rivalry there. I think it was, going through the promotional part of it. I think it was some strong words had. I think Brook was a little, he objected to this young kid kind of calling him out or looking at him as maybe the weakest champion. He's been proving himself ever since he won, beat Porter. So I like that it was some conflict between the guys. And I think I did put a little prediction piece out there, kind of last minute, but I did take TKO in the 11th round by Spence. So I was kind of happy I got that, although it ended in KO. But great fight. I don't know if I'm on board with everybody on the panel as far as Thurman being an easier fight for Spence. I think Thurman's had to do a little bit of moving these last couple fights and kind of improve his boxing a lot. We know the power, kind of belies the name one time the way that it did early on, but Thurman's kind of, picked up some new things, some new tricks and whatnot. So I'd like to see Thurman's movement maybe cause some problems or a little bit of discomfort for Spence, making him move a lot more. Spence, to me, kind of moves like a bigger fighter, junior middleweight or middleweight. He's not really light on his feet and whatnot. So I agree that he probably beats Thurman, but I think that'll be a very interesting matchup.
I think so too. I think, but I do think he beats Thurman. And well, let me ask you this: do you think that Brook beats Thurman?
That's a tough one.
I do.
That's a tough one. I think that one might come down to a split decision or something.
That's a tough fight.
My question was going to be with Brook, and B kind of stole my thunder just a little bit, but where does he go from here? I mean, he's talking about, if he goes up to 154, we got a lot of big hitters at 154. So, how long do we expect him to campaign, to be able to campaign health-wise up there at 154? I believe, he's 31 years old, maybe?
Yeah.
30. He's 30. Yeah.
Well,
30.
what do you do? I mean, that's a good question.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, look, he goes up to 154. That wasn't that's not going to be exactly Errol Spence hitting him. I mean, that's look. I mean, they got some hitters up there too. Everybody can hit.
Yeah, when you go up in weight, you're not the only guy that's going to be bigger. Right. Everyone else is going to be bigger too.
Right.
That's the thing. These guys are going to rehydrate some of these guys to 175, 180. Look what Canelo was rehydrating to. Look at the Jamal Charlo. Look at how big they were. These guys are tall. These are big guys. Demetrius Andre, 6 feet. Not a big puncher, but again, it's a bigger guy. How are you going to deal with that size of these other guys?
I'll tell you, my stance on it is this, because I know he has another broken, it was confirmed last night or whatever. He has a broken orbital bone, I guess, or I guess that was the same thing that was broken with the Triple G.
Yep.
If he needs surgery, if he has to get surgery on this eye and they have to put one of those plates in there, or just surgery in general, man. If you have to get surgery to get this repaired, I think it might be call it a
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah. I mean, I think it might be call it a daytime, man, because look, man, I mean, it's, at the end of the day, man, it's not where he's made a lot of money, but and I know he wants to fight Amir Khan, and that's been his big fight. He's been dream chasing that fight, but yeah, man, I don't know if it's worth it. And
I think it's a good cash out fight for him because
the Khan fight, even if he has surgery on both eyes.
Well, we got to see
man. I mean, Khan's not, listen, he's another fist. He can punch. He can get your attention for sure.
And let me just make one quick point. I don't want to hijack Wood's call. Let me make just one quick point too. What made Brook so successful, and what could have been a problem in the same breath, double-edged sword, is having to make that weight cut, but also when rehydrating, being 9 out of 10 times being the bigger man at that weight class. So you're going to be giving that up when you move up in weight. You're not going to be able to weight bully guys. And part of what made him so successful against Sean Porter was the size advantage. Sean Porter is a smaller guy compared to him, and I suspect he probably may have outweighed Sean Porter the night of the fight by 7 or 8 pounds. So he was a physically strong guy because of the size advantage. And he knew how to use that size advantage. So that's going to be something that he gives up when he moves up to 154. So he could be less successful at that weight class because of the move up too. He could be a worse fighter at 154 than he was at 147 because that element will be taken away from his game.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I tell you, I don't know. Like I said, man, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's a great move for him. I mean, we all said it coming in, but that he should have given up the 147 and went to 154. But now after that, I don't know.
No, I think it's time for him to call it a day because if he's got to have surgery, you don't want to play with your eyesight, man. You don't want to play with it. And hindsight is 20/20. But now I wonder, did Kell Brook make a boxing career mistake by agreeing to fight Triple G? I mean, did he bite off more than his body could handle?
Yeah. But, you talk to your boy. You talk to your boy, Eddie Hearn. He's the one that set him up.
Let me tell you,
he's the one that set him up.
But you know why? You know why that's a non-factor? You know why that's a non-factor, Robbie? Because he got his opposite side orbital bone broken in this fight. So it wasn't the same eye that Triple G broke. So if a smaller guy is breaking your face too, what difference does it make? This is what puts puts bullet holes through that whole theory. Is he got his other eye busted?
That's true.
Worse. I thought this injury was worse than Triple G's injury because he was blinking, he was rubbing at it, and he took a knee in this fight. He went down twice in this fight. Triple G couldn't even take him off his feet, so the smaller guy took him off his feet twice. What does that say?
Yeah.
I don't think it says anything.
With Triple G.
I don't think it says anything. I mean, styles make fights, so I mean, is that
exactly?
I mean, are you saying that
But no,
Triple G's a better fighter, or Errol Spence is a better fighter? Has got more power? I mean,
honestly, I'm going to say skill-wise, I think Errol Spence
for sure,
is better than Triple G.
I think so too. Skill-wise, yeah. But when you're talking about
that's my point, though, Eric. That's what I'm trying to sell.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Okay,
so I got to get on Beeb Industries, man. I got to get in there.
You gotta join, man. We got a nice position for you. We need a CFO to count all this money that we made over the weekend. We need a new CFO, baby.
Gonna call me.
We need a new CFO.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
Wood.
but I do think it's time for Kell Brook to retire, man.
All right, Wood. Anything else to get on?
I think another thing that Brook. Yeah, I think another thing that doesn't bode well for Brook trying to go up to 154 is that he also doesn't have that eraser type power. I mean, it seems like his fights are probably going to go to distance or later into fights, and he just doesn't have that eraser, to stop a fight at any point in time, or hasn't really shown it to this point. So that's another thing, that to go up in weight, take shots from bigger guys, and be going the distance, it just seems like it's going to put more stress on that eye. Very last question to you guys. Do you think that we saw any chin issues with Spence? I mean, he got hurt once or twice, and then we hadn't seen anything to that point. So I was a little concerned with that.
You know what I didn't like, and B, maybe you can speak on this. You know what I didn't like about Spence last night is that when I noticed this, and I was telling my dad, we were watching the fight, and I was talking to my dad about it, and he kind of noticed it too. When Spence would, in order to avoid the punch, he would lean back. He was actually have his feet and lean back, or he would pull back straight. He would just lean back or pull back straight. And you never really want to do that. Instead of like moving out at an angle or moving or trying to spin or move off at an angle or something like that, he pulled straight back. And that was my problem. That was my big problem defensively with Spence last night. Beeb, did you catch that? And what were your thoughts on that?
I thought he did that early on.
Yeah.
I thought he stopped doing it later on. Can I speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely.
That's all timing, because that's the last resort. When you can't react to something, okay? Anything, like when someone comes up to you and they go like this to you, like you're not ready for it. Your first instinct is to do that. But if you're in a position and you're ready for it and you can see it coming and you're timing it, that's when you're able to slide. So I think that was timing. I thought he said his timing was a little bit off. He didn't like the layoff, whatever. That's one point, I think, one factor. And also I think he really needed a little bit of time to get adjusted to Brook's rhythm. And I thought once he picked up on the rhythm, he was able to kind of, catch the jab, parry it down a little bit and slip it a little bit and, move away from it, step off to the side a little bit. So I just think that was a little bit trying to get Brook's rhythm and his timing being a little bit off, in the early onset of this fight, in my opinion. But you're 100% correct. He looked to be a little bit out of sync in the first 4 rounds, in my opinion.
That's a good point. I thought his chin looked great. I mean, he got hit flush with some big shots. He got hit flush with a big uppercut at one point. I thought Kell Brook stunned him in round 2. I think it was the second or third round. Kell Brook got his attention.
Yeah, he did.
Stunned him.
He did.
And he had him hurt. And I thought he had him, if not hurt, he definitely had him dazed. He definitely got his attention. Kell Brook hit him with some big shots. And Spence didn't go anywhere. Spence may have gotten hurt. He may have wobbled at times, but he definitely stayed in there. And Kell Brook, I mean, these were flush shots.
He didn't panic.
No. That's what
he didn't.
Boys, coming into the ring, I texted Beeb when the fight was going on. I said, he looks so calm.
He was poker faced throughout.
Yeah.
Even when he was getting hit with big shots, he still had a stoic look on his face. Like,
Man.
Another day at the office, baby.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, all in all, man, I thought he looked good. I thought his chin looked good, and I thought Brook, for the most part, looked good. I'm just concerned about his health going forward. That's where I come out on him, man. I would like to see him fight again, but not at any kind of cost, So, all right, guys, remember to catch Wood on the Pay Me No Mind podcast. He just dropped the a new podcast there. Was it Thursday or like last week? Wasn't it?
Last Friday it was.
Last Friday. He just put one out. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was this Friday. It was this Friday. Actually, my man Beeb was gracious enough to come on, and we kind of talked through a couple of things. It is a little, I try to plan in the future because I only do every other week.
Yeah.
But we talked about, we finished up with the Andre Ward Kovalev, and Beeb said a lot of insightful stuff for people to look out on that one. So if y'all don't mind, check me out on there. Did have a special guest in Jared Hurd on there, who's currently the IBF junior middleweight champion. So it's one of the better shows I think I put out.
It was a great show.
He always puts out good shows, man. Absolutely.
Awesome interviews.
All right, Wood, we're going to get running. Hey, do me a favor. Send me the link to your show on Twitter, and I'll go ahead and retweet it back out, okay?
We'll do. Appreciate it. Hey, take care. Keep doing your thing, and always enjoy myself.
Absolutely, man. Good job, man. Wood. And yeah, he's got a good podcast, too. He's got
really
good
fun
guys on there. Yeah, he's always got good guys on there. And he talks about different stuff. He was talking about the NBA finals and everything like that. So, yeah, he always got good stuff on there.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, area code 312. You are live. Maybe.
Hey, guys, it's Mike.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. All right. So first of all, great fight on Saturday. I was a little. I picked Spence to win by split decision. So watching the first half of the fight, I was a little. Actually, before the bell even started, I was actually a little bit concerned at how much bigger I thought Brook was than Spence. And throughout the first half, I just saw Brook, being able to land those straight right hands, and it just seemed like he was having more effect with his power punches than Spence, who was moving. Seemed like he was moving Spence more, and then just like how you guys were just talked about it. I mean, little just chopping down the tree with the body work by Spence, and it's crazy how it from one half of the fight turned just completely opposite to the second half of the fight, and it was a big comeback from Spence, and it goes to show you, I mean, I didn't think I didn't think he was probably going to have enough experience with only 21 fights, but I still always thought that he had, better talent than Brook. It was just a matter of seeing if he can overcome it, and he did, especially even traveling over there in the UK and pulling it off.
I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, to win it on his home turf like that, man, that's. 30,000 people. Not one of those guys. Well, maybe 7 of his family that were there were Spence fans, and that was it. They were all cheering for Brook, and to go out there and do that in his hometown, the way he did it, the way he made it happen, that's big, man.
I was just so jealous too, watching these fights, and from the UK. It's kind of upsetting how boxing here in the United States has declined. I went on Friday to the UIC Pavilion to watch the Conlon fight, and it just wasn't. It was a poor crowd there. I was really disappointed at the lack of people that attended. But it just goes to show you, how much of a difference is boxing over there is in the UK. Diehard fans, will go above and beyond to support their fighters.
Hey, let me ask you about that Conlon fight for a minute here. Now, you said you went there. I saw it I caught it on YouTube, but it looked completely empty there. I mean, it looked like a bunch of empty seats, man. Was it as bad as it looked on TV?
I can send you guys pictures of it because I was there I got there probably 20 minutes before gates opened. So it was pretty dead at first, and throughout the hours, it just wasn't really getting better. Now, the UIC Pavilion holds around 9,500 seats.
But they only opened the lower bowl for that, right?
I wanted –
because there's 2.
Yes, and even the lower bowl was – yes, even the lower bowl was pretty bad. Wow. I want to say there was a good maybe 2,000 people there. And it showed too, obviously, when you guys were looking at it on TV, and it definitely showed too while I was there. There was a lot of empty seats. You know, and it just probably wasn't the right venue to host the second pro fight for Conlon. Because if I remember, his first pro fight when it was at the theater at Madison Square Garden, I think they sold about what, like 2,500 tickets or something like that.
Something like that, but it was a small room. It was like the small room or whatever at MSG. So that was more. That's more in line of. And that's smaller. I believe it's smaller than the UIC. It looked smaller to me because UIC was fairly decent size.
It's way smaller than the UIC. I looked it up, and the Madison Square Garden Theater said it can hold up to 2,500 to maybe 5,000 at the most. So again, it may have been just better for them to put it in a theater here in Chicago, but it looked really it looked very sparse. But the people that were there that showed up, we had some Irish fans there who were chanting literally before his fight, even when the Salcedo fight was going on. They were going nuts there, waiting for Colossus to show up. So I mean, the guys that showed up there, hardcores, they did their job. But other than that, I think if they ever wanted to come back to Chicago, we don't get that much show here anyway. So, but if they decided to go come back, I think they may want to think about doing something smaller, just so that way, ticket sales and crowd can look better at their point.
Well, and I think my problem with it too was, UIC is very nice too, but the thing is, like the last show we saw at the UIC, they had they had good fights on it, and these were just like starter fights. And those starter, he's not going to sell out UIC right now. Nobody knows who he is. He's not even going to draw a big crowd. No, he's not even going to get a big contingent for a 4-round fight or a 6-round fight. You're not going to get that there. Stack the undercard with some people we know.
No. Yes, and I saw a tweet that Steve Kim posted, and I thought it was a good point that he Top Rank would have benefited better. Maybe signing some some more Eastern European guys or more Polish guys,
right,
to put on the card.
Exactly.
There's a big Polish population here. There's a big Irish population here, especially in the south side of Chicago. But I think if you would have added more Polish and Mexican fighters, it would have done a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Instead of just putting in Salcedo and Mike Alvarado is as much he doesn't look too bad, but I mean he's a Colorado guy. He's from Denver, so I think just more Mexican and Polish guys would have probably sold a couple more thousand tickets with that venue.
Right. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. All right, man. We're gonna get running, Mike.
All right, thank you.
You too, man.
Guys.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed in the Conlon card, and we'll talk about that. But I always said, they should have put, Shakur Stevenson and Michael Conlon. You put those two guys on a card, and then sell it there. But to put each one of those, to put Conlon as a headliner and nobody underneath them, I don't really get that. I mean, and you're going to put them at UIC? At UIC? UIC has trouble in Chicago selling out the entire arena. A lot of times they got 2 bowls in that arena. And a lot of times that upper bowl, sometimes they just shut it down and just sell the lower bowl. What are you renting out that big space for? I mean, there's no way he's going to draw that big of a crowd there. That's crazy. Craziness. So let's go back to the phones here. 970, you are live.
What's up, fellas?
What's
How
up,
you doing
man?
Tonight?
Good. So what's on your mind?
I wasn't gonna call tonight, man. I was gonna let.
Huh? I said, what's on your
up,
mind?
Man? Your boy Hand Raps, man.
I know who it is, man.
I wasn't even gonna call, man.
You wasn't even gonna call until we started talking about your boy, right?
Pacman.
I'm telling you, man. Okay.
Yeah, man.
State your case. Man? State your case, man. If this was 1999,
man.
If this was 1999, I'd be giving him props, but it's not. His days well past prime.
So you're telling me that You're gonna tell me right now that Errol Spence will go in there and wash the Pacman. He's about to Marquez him, just fucking lay him out, right?
Son, he would
wash him, permanently press him,
he would
wash him, permanently press him, and fold him up nice.
Man, you guys
would
are
go
so
in there and mark
disrespectful,
Pacman.
God damn
Oh my God, man.
Disrespectful.
You guys are horrible, man. That's a legend right there.
Nobody's
That's
disputing that.
legendary.
Listen, if Julio Cesar Chavez, let me ask you this.
How can we take him seriously, for God's sake?
If Julio Cesar
Everybody
Chavez Sr. got in the ring.
Bernard Hopkins a chance when he was fucking 60.
He got knocked out of the ring.
Out, right? You got to show it, man. You got to prove it, man. That man.
But you got to step.
But
you got to step in there with some competition.
That's it. That's all you got to get.
You got to step in there with some competition too.
What do you mean with his opposition?
Jeff Horn is not competition for him.
You guys giving
Jeff Horn
all this credit for that?
But hand wrap, who the fuck is Jeff Horn? We don't know who the fuck he is.
All right.
Again.
Everybody's mad for the Jeff Horn. I am too. I agree.
Hand wraps.
Taking on.
Hand wraps.
Yeah, who the fuck is Jeff Horn?
You got to stop with the nostalgia, though. You're looking machine. You're in a time machine. It's not 2009 anymore. It's not 2009 anymore. That Pacquiao is gone. I'm sorry.
Man, he's fighting Jeff Horn, so I got no ammunition right now.
No, we all get old. The Beeb can't do a full 12 anymore.
Man, there's no way Pacman gets washed by these kids.
Pacman gets
yes, he does.
One of those kids.
Yes, he does.
Gotta give him some respect, man.
But look, we're going to give him respect, but he's, 38, 39 years old? Who the hell can he fight? I mean,
Jeff Horn might upset him, too.
Go,
you don't know. It's ranked number 2.
Australia, for God's sake.
Man, he's a senator, bro.
They couldn't even sell this fight, son. They couldn't even sell this fight. They had to go to Australia to sell it. They couldn't even sell it in the U.S. or anywhere in the world.
Superman. He's got 10 jobs, bro. On top of being the hero of his country, he's got to run the shit.
Yeah, because those senators work so hard over there.
Boxer to show any. It's hard, man. It's hard living in the fucking
Get out of here,
bro. Damn, man. Get a Pacman. That's all I'm saying.
How long has Pacquiao been in this division?
Fighter in his day.
We're saying that Kell, Brook. Man, man, he's a great fighter, and I bet he fights Crawford. I bet he fights Spence, and I bet he takes him on because he's a real warrior.
He ain't fighting none of those guys, boy.
Let me ask all you guys a question. How long is Pacquiao?
Errol is going to force him to fight Crawford next. We all know that.
He ain't fighting Crawford next, son.
Okay. How long has Pacquiao been in this division? How long?
You guys also said that Canelo was going to duck Triple G, and he's about to knock him out.
And he did for 6 years.
That's
all right. Hand wraps. How long has Pacquiao been in this division? About 9 years now, right?
Man, since I've been watching boxing, bro.
He's been in the welterweight division for about 8-9 years, right? Why hasn't he even unified this division in 8 or 9 years? Why not?
Well,
because he's won multiple divisions.
Yeah, that's true.
But why hasn't he ever unified?
He don't just go around camping around beating up bugs all day. He moves up for challenges, buddy. That's what great fighters do.
He's been in this division. He's been in this division since 2008, right? For 9 years. Why hasn't he ever unified?
How do you want this fucking midget to grow, bro? That's as high as he can go.
I'm not saying he moves up in weight. I'm asking you, why has he not unified the titles at 147? He's been in the division for 9 years. Why does he only hold one? The only title he's ever held was the WBO. Why? Why isn't he ever unified?
I heard that if he beats Jeff Horn,
he likes rematches.
I heard that if he beats Jeff Horn, I got this on good accord. If he beats Jeff Horn, he's fighting Chris Van Heerden next.
No, man. If he beats Jeff Horn, there's a rematch. I'm just joking.
He's a rematch. That's right.
Listen, man. Give the old man his credit. That's all I'm saying, man. I can't fucking stand you guys disrespecting him. It's driving me nuts, man. All right. Stop disrespecting the Pacman. All right, it's driving me too. He's too fucking skilled for that shit, man. You don't deserve this shit. I don't care how.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's going to the Hall of Fame. approval. Doesn't matter what I think. He's going
Hand
home.
Raps has got Pacman posters in his living room.
I already bought you a Pacquiao figurine. I'm UPSing it to you right now as we speak. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you your
picking on the old man. You guys are not fair, man.
Got your Pacquiao action figure coming in the mail.
All you motherfuckers saying Kell Brook quit, man. All these fucking punk motherfuckers that ain't never been in the ring, ain't never been punched in the face, talking about a man in the fucking ring in there with another fucking beast quitting. Like, Nicholas Walters, that's fucking quitting, homie. Getting your fucking eye socket broken by a monster in a division you shouldn't be in, then going in there with the real monster who you should have been prepping for the whole fucking time. You get your fucking, bro, come on, man. His eye socket was broken the last fight, and it wasn't going to take much to get that shit to swell up, and it wasn't going to take much to get him to say, you know what, fuck this shit. But
it was the opposite eye this time. It was the opposite eye. It wasn't the same eye. It was the opposite eye this time.
Bro, but do you know what an eye socket is, bro? It's connecting both of your eyes, bro. Like,
so if I break my right arm, doesn't it have to do with my left arm?
Around your eyes, and when you get broken frame, bro, and it's frail as fuck, it ain't gonna take much to break the other side, bro.
But he got a metal plate. He got a metal plate on the right side. You can't break metal.
When you got one side that has a plate, bro, and the other fucking side doesn't, you get cracked on the other side, it's gonna fucking snap, bro.
One has nothing to do with the other.
So
one has nothing to do with the other.
It was just confirmed that his shit was snapped again, bro. His shit was snapped.
It was the other side. It wasn't the same one.
Bro. He's not.
Oh my god.
Champ
yeah,
Ross.
And on the other side, there's a plate, bro.
Champ
and
Ross.
On the other side of his face, there's a plate.
Okay, so the other side got broken. So now he's gonna be a full cyborg. That's what he's gonna be a full cyborg now.
That's why he should retire. He can't fight anymore.
Hey, let me jump in.
Right now, bro. You can't fucking fight anymore.
Let me jump in right here. Champ Ross in the chat just said Dr. Hand Wraps.
Oh my god, man.
There you go.
Damn right, buddy. I've been in the ring, and I took the knee from a liver shot, buddy. And you're gonna say I quit or that I was?
No, listen. I broke my nose. I broke my rib. I'm with you, bro.
I'm with you too, man. I'll tell you what. It
ain't no joke.
Yeah, Kell Brook absolutely did the right thing last night.
That motherfucker was in pain, bro. His face was hurting, bro. His face was hurting. You see him dabbing at it. He tried to stay in there and fight, and his fucking corner didn't help him. They weren't fucking doing anything about the swelling. They weren't. Watch that fucking tape, bro. They're throwing towels over his fucking head. Fuck that shit. Put some goddamn fucking ice at least, man. Do something.
You know what they needed to do?
Down, man. They weren't doing shit. And
you know what they needed to do?
When he started, listen, man. I had Kell Brook winning. You had him win at the time of stoppage. Yeah, I know that's rare because the two. Bro, I had the time of stoppage. I had to fight 95-94 for Brook, bro.
Yeah.
I think Kell Brook was doing beautiful work with the jab and the holding, of course, which I fucking hate. But he was holding and he was doing what he had to do. He was winning the fight, bro, because you could tell that Spence stopped jabbing. Do you remember the moment in the 5th, 6th? I don't remember when he stopped jabbing. He just started kind of like change the game plan. He just started headhunting him, started stalking his ass, putting his head into his chest, trying to get him against the ropes. I love that about Spence. I give him full credit because though he was winning the jab war, he was landing it more. It wasn't as efficient as Kell Brooks. Kell Brooks was just landing a touch crisper, man. And then he was starting to come over with that right hand. And Spence noticed that and he adjusted. He said, fuck the jab game. This guy's taking me right now. So he adjusted. He started taking it to him. He landed that fucking cross to left, right, landed right on that eye, man. I started seeing that shit swell. I was like, that's it. It's over. And, man, I love the way Spence changed the game. But I had Kell Brook winning because I had the first 6 rounds pretty much going to him. I think I gave fucking Spence like 1 round out of those, bro. Kell Brook was
those were
fight. Is that
tough rounds to call, man.
Bro, it was a fucking pain, and I can't stand people saying he quit, bro. He didn't fucking quit. He didn't quit the whole fight. He got hit in the eye, and the shit hurt. He tried to hold up. He went to his corner. His corner was like, yo, man. He's like, yeah, man, it's just fucking hurt. It hurt. They put a towel over his head so we couldn't hear what the fuck he was
kept
saying.
blinking it. He kept blinking it.
Iceman do his job, and the shit got worse, and the corner was ready to call it quits as of the 5th round, bro. They were just trying to see if he could hang in there for a fucking decision.
I don't think.
I think he would have lost because I think Spence would have.
They should have brought another.
The 11th, and he was definitely going to take the 12th. Go ahead.
They should have brought. They should have brought another metal plate. That's what they should have done. I'm just playing.
Yeah, man.
I'm just playing.
So disrespectful.
This motherfucker. You got his face broken, and you talk, man.
It's cold blooded.
Damn it.
I see. These guys are savages, hand wraps. These guys are savages.
I had to just throw that one. You know, all due respect. All due respect to Kell.
Have you guys noticed how many people are picking? All you guys picking Spence over Thurman, man. That shit is crazy.
Oh, get out of here.
That's crazy,
After that,
man.
I think Brook would have beat Thurman. Brook would have beat Thurman.
Come on.
That's such a close fight. You guys are acting like it's
Come on, man.
Like he just walked.
Thurman just went life and death with Garcia. With Garcia.
He's gonna walk through Pacman is disrespectful as fuck. But saying he's gonna walk through Keith Thurman? What?
Who would you favor, Keith Thurman or Pacman in a fight?
Man.
Who would you favor?
Keith Thurman or Pacman?
I'm favoring Keith Thurman.
So disrespectful. Robert, what were you going to say?
I'm favoring Keith Thurman, but
hand wraps. Errol Spence walks over everybody in the 147-pound division.
Tell him, Robbie. Tell him, please.
Can we see him against Danny Garcia first?
Why are you going to do that to Danny Garcia? Why you want to do that to Danny Garcia?
Hey, I'll do it to the whole division, brother. I'll do it to the whole division, including Pacman, including the Pacman.
Danny Garcia was bringing it to Keith Thurman in the 11th and 12th, making his ass run because Danny Garcia would have a nice counter because Danny Garcia is going to let Spence bring it to him, and we're going to see what Spence can really do with somebody who can really counter. That's why we want to see Danny
Lamont Peterson already beat Danny Garcia.
That were landed by Kell Brook are going to be a lot different when Danny Garcia starts landing them, homie. I can promise you that.
What about Lamont Peterson outboxing Danny Garcia? You forgot about that.
Yeah. Danny Garcia can get outboxed. We also seen Keith Thurman outboxing, but we also seen Keith Thurman running in that 12th, right?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
We did. You're bringing it. Now you're bringing it. This is what I want. Bring the real stuff. Bring the real stuff.
All right, hand wraps.
Hey, listen, man, credit to Errol Spence. That motherfucker went to the UK. Now he's got everybody in the UK talking about he a monster and he's going to beat fucking Keith Thurman. That's just fucking hilarious. But you know what? That's what happens when you're brave enough to go to somebody else's yard, fuck them up, and take their fans. So, all credit to Errol Spence at the end of the day, bro. He's the man. Man down.
Now,
sure.
Now tear down that Manny Pacquiao poster. Tear down that Manny Pacquiao poster and put up an Errol Spence poster.
Let me tell you what. The toughest part about a Pacquiao-Spence fight would be signing that contract. Short of that, the fight's going to be simple. There it is.
I'm going to call up Errol Spence, tell him to send you an autographed poster.
Hand wraps just dropped. Hey, hand wraps, if you're listening, I didn't disconnect you. You dropped the call. So
yeah, you couldn't take the heat. Couldn't
take the heat. We're going to disrespect Manny Pacquiao some more.
Yeah, I'm going to get him a nice Errol Spence poster. Rip down that Manny Pacquiao poster. Tear it down, baby.
812, you're live. 812.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Eric, Beeb, Rock, and Joey, man.
What's up, man? How are you?
Give us some sanity, brother. Give us some sanity here.
Oh, man, that was funny, man. Hey, Rob, you got to make a shirt that says, "Who the F is Joe Horn?" Man, that's
right. Who the fuck is Jeff Horn? Yeah, exactly.
Whoa!
Hey, we're totally making that a soundbite, you know.
Jesus, D, what's going on? I'll be here quick, guys. You know what's impressive, man? That's the first time since I've been watching faithfully, like in boxing, that I've seen two fighters like go to UK and win belts in back-to-back weeks, like with Davis last week and then this with Spence, man. So that's pretty impressive, man.
Very impressive.
Well, that's because, Joe, it don't normally happen that way. Normally, most Americans, when they go to the UK, It does, you know, they normally don't win belts when they go over there. So what we've seen in the last 2 weeks is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and then, you know, and credit to Brook for not, because he could have guys just said, you know what, I can't make the weight anymore. I mean, you could tell he just didn't want to lose that belt. But man, I almost made a bet with this fight. I was gonna pick Brook, but man, I just felt like the damage was already done with the Triple G fight, even though it was the opposite eye. This time, I mean, he was fighting good, but it just was like he just couldn't take it no more, man. If I was him, I would definitely take some time off and maybe have a farewell fight against Khan. But I'm sure he's made enough money. I don't see, especially
I know he don't need to do that.
Again.
He don't need to do that. Just walk away, brother. Just walk away.
Yeah, well,
because you're gonna have another surgery. You're gonna have another plate in your face. You don't want to go in there with plates in your face and have Amir Khan beat on those. Because trust me, if he fights anymore, people are gonna go after both of his eyes. You know what you've given the rest of boxing is a game plan to go against you. Oh, look, he's got 2 plates in his face. We got to beat up on those eyes. And, now people will see, okay, if you hit the eye, he's going to eventually have to quit. It's time to leave while you have all your faculties in order. No more fights for Kell Brook, period. That's what I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Robbie. And as far as Spence, man, I love the way he handled himself. I mean, he was composed, his attitude, everything about him is great. And we're gonna get to see a mega fight with him and Thurman. I mean, it's gonna be an awesome fight. I know it's gonna probably won't happen until maybe next spring, but hey, it's gonna happen. So I'm sure he'll have a couple tune-up fights in between. So can't wait for that. Eric, I wanted to piggyback off something going back to Top Rank. Like, I don't know what it is recently with these guys, but I feel like it's just lazy promoting, or people just don't even give a damn about the promotion they're putting on. You said it, like, there was not one Chicago fighter. Was there any Chicago fighters on that card? I knew that card was going to bomb. There was nobody known in the city. Like, Bob recently came out and said that he doesn't come to Chicago because it's not a fight town anymore or something. Every time Bobby Hicks puts on a card out there, he sells. I mean, he fills it with local guys, but he sells out his fights. So I just think, like you said, the UIC Pavilion was too big. There wasn't no main attraction. I mean, and fight fans are wise to this, guys. Like, who's going to go to a fight when you already know who's going to win? I mean, at least give us one 50-50 fight where we're like, you know what, this fight has a chance to be, we don't know who's going to win. And that was my problem with that Valdez pay-per-view. Although the fight was good between Valdez and Mariaga, but it was clearly, you kind of already knew clearly knew all the A sides were going to beat all the C or D side fighters. And I just, I'm going back to that. Reason I bring that up, guys, because Oscar De La Hoya got the card with Smoking Joe Smith coming up in July. And you mean to tell me that HBO wouldn't want to put Valdez on? So I don't know if Bob's just not messing around with HBO or whatnot, but I don't understand how come that card wasn't on HBO with the talent is probably more known than what the Golden Boy card is. And they're getting the card. They're getting put on by HBO. So that's just my little beef with them a little bit. I just feel like they're trying to cheat the fans by just putting Colin out there and they want us to fork out money to go, So You got to put some local guys and some competitive fights on there. That's my beef with that.
There was no, like you said, like the guy from Chicago said, Mike, I believe it was. There's no Chicago. I don't know if there was any Chicago fighters on there. If there wasn't that many. There was no Polish guys on there, Mexicans on there, nothing. That's what, every time PBC goes, and PBC does a great job of this. Every time they go to a town, they stack it with either local guys. Like I said, when they went to Chicago, all the Polish guys are on that card. You got Mexicans on the card, you got Polish guys on the card. That's their whole makeup over there. It's a big Polish town, it's a big Mexican town, it's a big Irish town. They put all that stuff together. They put the local guys on there. Bob Arum just came in there, and who is Mick Conlon to sell out, UIC, with no undercard, just a 6-rounder? Really? Come on, man. Put that other kid on there. Yeah.
Bobby Hicks will have a card in Chicago. He's going to have a card in Chicago on the 23rd. Bobby Hicks is, and it's actually going to be aired on CBS Sportsnet. you're going to see a big crowd there. He's got 2 local guys that are in the co-main event. So you got Donovan the Bomb George. He's a veteran, but he's from the Shy.
Right.
Then you got Mikey Hollywood Jimenez from Chicago. He's going to be like the opening bout. And then Mike Lee, he's from that area. So I mean, that's great promoting. You're promoting your guys and you're putting them on TV. Watch the difference between the crowd. And for him to say that boxing it doesn't attract in Chicago, I just feel like if you give Chicago people crap, they're not going to go for that. I mean, and people are starting to wise up to that. I know that even the StubHub card didn't really even fully sell out. And I know that's the blood grounds of boxing, but I was wondering what the numbers, if they ever got released for that pay-per-view, and what the overall attendance was.
No, I don't think they did. I don't think they did, Joe. And the reason why it didn't sell out on that night is because real boxing fans wanted to stay home and watch Porter and Berto, because even the StubHub people that go to those fights knew that card wasn't any good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my only beef, guys. It's just, you know me, man. I love to stay positive, but I don't know if it's me. I'm starting to learn more about how it's ran or how these promoters work, and it just gets frustrating, man. Because it's like, okay, guys, you jerked us enough, but give us something to come out to. I would love to go to that Colin fight, but my goodness, I knew he was going to get the guy out of there in a couple rounds.
Yeah.
Give us something to look forward to. But Eric, I inboxed you earlier because I'm actually going to be going to that Real Deal Holyfield promotions.
Who's on that card?
That's only an hour and a half from me. I don't know how.
Yeah. It's only, I think it's like 1 or 2 hours.
The main
away from
event
me too.
right now is, right now they got the heavyweight Derek Rossi, who was supposed to fight King Kong. He's fighting a Puerto Rican heavyweight that I've never heard of. Like, when you get a chance, go either to BoxRec or the ESPN. And there's a couple Puerto Ricans on there with some solid records. But with Holyfield being his first card, I mean, I'm not sure. It's a lot. But here's the thing, though, Eric. He's doing something that's smart. It's a lot of local guys that are on that card. So
that's
and it's
the way
during
to
the
do
Muhammad Ali celebration week.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's how you sell fights.
I mean, for one, they're gonna have a festival for Muhammad Ali, celebrate his life. I think they're gonna have something at the Muhammad Ali Exhibit Center, and then that night you can go enjoy the fights at the Freedom Hall. So that's how you do it, man. Even even if we don't get a 2 good fights, but at least there's more attractions. And I think Holyfield will probably bring some legends to come and support.
For sure.
We might need some old heavyweights or something out there. So I'm excited, man. And tickets are not that bad either. They're priced pretty well. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
But, man, Beeb, how you been, man? I'm sorry, man.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just want to ask you a question. Is Errol Spence the real deal? Is he the truth now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. That's all I needed to hear from you because I knew you were going to say
yes. Yeah. Errol, man, that's like I said, that's everything you want in a fighter. I mean, the way he conducts himself, not only in the ring, which I forgot somebody who tweeted it yesterday, but the body work he was doing. Like somebody had said that the body work has become a lost art in boxing. But I feel like that's how he kind of tore down Brook. He kept that body, and then before you know it, man, it was it. But he's just so, man, he's intelligent, man. I love the way he carries himself in and outside the ring. So I'm happy for him. I'm kind of nervous because he's going against my favorite fighter, Thurman. But I'll tell you what, man, that fight's going to be really good. But I wouldn't be – no, I love Thurman. That's my guy. But if Spence wins, I wouldn't be shocked because the guy just – he's an amazing fighter. And I think he can be marketable. He can become the face. If how sometimes we like to say, who's the face of boxing and this and that. For American fighters, he's up there, man. He can be it. So I tip my hat off to him. I do want to – man, he earned a lot of respect because he went over there to UK, and not a lot of guys would do that. Not a lot of guys would do that. I mean, Floyd never did it. Canelo's never done it. I'm missing some guys. I'm just rambling off. But a lot of guys would not go to UK because they feel like they'd get robbed or something, But he went up there confident, and he stuck to his game plan, and, man, that body work was impressive, man.
Yeah, to do what he did and go to England and do it, that's a pretty impressive thing, man. Pretty impressive.
Somebody.
Hey guys, before I let you go, Beeb and Rod and Eric, I want to let you know Mike Tyson's new book's going to be dropping. I believe it's coming out this Tuesday. it's with the book. It's going to be about him and his coach Customato, basically like the early years.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's gonna be like him living with him and stuff like that. So that's dropping this week. And Robbie, you might be able to get that on audio, Robbie. So you might want to
Audible. Get that on Audible?
I'll definitely check into it, man. I'm a voracious reader, so I read Cinderella Man that way, and I watched the movie last night. Fantastic job of that too.
Oh, very cool.
So, yeah, there you go, man. There's a lot of good ones out there, man. But hey, you guys take care. Have a happy Memorial Day, and Eric, if you do go, let me know, man. I'll definitely
absolutely,
like to come and, I have my nephew with me this time, so if you're there, man, I'll love to see you again.
Cool, man.
You guys
Will
take
do.
care now.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Joe.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. 718. You are live.
Yes, how you doing? How you doing? Good evening and happy holiday.
Suleiman, how are you, buddy?
Suleiman, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, fine.
Good.
Yeah, fine. How you doing, Beeb? Yeah,
good,
this fight it was a great fight. We got to see two fighters. I mean, they're very similar in the same style. I mean, they got crowd-pleasing style. They're trying to please the fans. But one thing I noticed also that they both have defensive lapses. The only thing that and they have been inactive between fights. Kell Brook, he fought subpar fighters in his title defenses, and this deteriorated his defensive skills. And then people were hyping him up too much because he had the O. He went up to middleweight because the opportunity was there, and guys didn't want to fight Triple G. And he got paid a lot of money for it and went up there and gave it a try. But in that fight, he should have been more stationary. But being that Triple G had better skills, he just went in there and got hurt. He absorbed too much punishment. Okay, and the guy that's gonna be Triple G has to be defensive. I don't think nobody is gonna be Triple G if they try to go head on with him. Okay, so now he went down in weight. They got an opportunity to make the weight because he got injured or Errol Spence got injured. One of them got injured, so the opportunity came. They were both the same size. The only thing that one had more punishment and one had his defensive skills elapsed. Okay, so now Errol Spence has elapsed in his defensive skills too. He fought a lot of subpar fighters, a lot of old fighters, small fighters. If he fights a guy like Keith Thurman or even a Danny Garcia, he's gonna have to be on point because these guys will take advantage of the defensive lapse. He tends to be a little too one-dimensional too, and when he's too stiff when he hits to the body. I mean, the thing with Kell Brook was that Kell Brook was hurt early on. Kell Brook was staying in the pocket instead of moving. I don't know why Kell Brook just didn't pump the jab. The shoulders are there. He could pump that jab all night. I don't think Kell Brook would have felt any damage if he would have been like a little bit more like Floyd. Floyd used to box, look for openings, try to preserve his scruples. In a way, people didn't like his style at later on in his career because he was too defensive. But hey, that's gonna win the fight. I mean, if Kell Brook would have boxed much more and moved much more, Kell Brook would have preserved his body from getting all that punishment, and maybe he would have won that fight. He would have won that fight for a split decision, but he just took too many punches, being that he was doing that when he was defending that belt against guys like Kevin Fiziev, against guys like all those guys that he fought, and also when he fought Senchenko, when he knocked out Senchenko, Senchenko tagged him, he leaped them and knocked them out. So all that affected his career when it got to this fight, because he felt like, hey, I'm gonna tag this kid with one of my power shots, and the fight is a wrap. But the kid was able to sustain that. He was a little fresher than him, and started tagging him with shots. And Kell Brook, what I hear is that Kell Brook didn't want to take too much punishment. He took it already, but he didn't want to lose his eyesight, so that's why he quit. And he's gonna have to get operated there again. I don't think he should retire. I think all he has to do is box. He's gonna have to do what Manny Pacquiao did. Manny Pacquiao got tagged by Marquez and got knocked out. He went and he just changed his whole game plan. He became more boxer. He fought 12 rounds with Brandon Rios. He won a distance with a lot of fighters, and people's been saying, oh, his skills are treated. The only thing is that he don't want to take the punishment no more. He rather box, and when the opponent is ready and right, he take him out. So this is what Kell Brook has to do. If he wants to continue to fight, he's gonna have to do that. He's gonna have to learn how to box. He's gonna have to be like a Roberto Duran. He has a pocket body like a Roberto. All you gotta do is just pump that jab, box, learn how to smell the punches. Look at Floyd. I don't know why these guys are not looking at Floyd tapes, because Floyd used to do that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a boxer and I'm in this game, I'm gonna look at Floyd, because Floyd used to do that. He was in there with bone crunching punches, and he's smothering these shots. He's boxing, and this was gonna create longevity in your career, because these guys they're too flat-footed, they're too fan-friendly style, and they're taking too many punches. You guys have a great day and a happy holiday. Nice to hear from you again. You guys have a fantastic show, and take care.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. And good take on that fight, man. Very good take.
Beautiful breakdown.
All right. Before we actually go to the next caller here, let's go over the rest of the fights. George Groves and Fedor Chutinov on the undercard here. Fourth time was finally the charm for St. George Groves, who knocked out Fedor Chutinov on the undercard of Brook Spence. Chutinov was fighting well until he got rocked in the 6th round, man. He couldn't recover. The ref stopped the fight, and it just, the thing is, I thought it was, it didn't look like he was that rocked. I mean, that he couldn't go on. But the ref stepped in, and the fact is, Chutinov didn't even make a sound. He didn't make a sound about it. He didn't, protest, anything like that. So it was a good call by the ref, in my opinion. And just like that, George Groves is now the WBA super middleweight champion. I was super happy for Groves. Beeb, what were your thoughts on this fight, man? Were you as happy for Groves as I was?
Yeah, I mean, Groves is the type of guy that you root for. He just stuck to it, man. He never gave up. Had some ups and downs in his career. And like he said, he made a good point with Kugan Cassius. Shout out to IFL TV. He was being interviewed. And he said, I've been in a lot of tough fights, but I've never been blown out by anyone. I've always looked like I belonged in there. And he's right. A couple close calls. I thought the Badou Jack fight was razor close. I thought Badou Jack did win the fight, but Groves was definitely in it to the end. Sure. Same thing with Kyle Froch. I mean, that first fight was horrible how it ended, and it looked like, he was on his way to win that fight. But, we saw what Kyle Froch in the rematch. But George Groves is a solid fighter, man. He's a solid fighter. And sometimes it looks like he's taking too many shots in there. But, he's getting better defensively, and he held his own in this fight. And, he bit down in this fight, too. This was not an easy fight. These were some tough competitive rounds. Chudinov's a decent guy, too. Not the slickest guy in the world, but he's got the basics down pat. He has a great jab, great right hand, and he's got pretty decent timing, pretty decent hand speed, and he fights very well from the outside. And George Groves kind of changed up the geography in this fight a little bit, took the fight deeper into the pocket, into the mid-range, and that's where he was more effective. And, he gritted it out, and he found lightning in the bottle, and he smelled blood, and he went into the kill, and he took care of business, man. Shout out to George Groves. At the stoppage did look a tad bit quick, but, the fight was definitely turned, and Chutinov was definitely hurt. And, I would suspect strongly that if the fight went on, I do not think Chutinov would have been able to hold off George Groves for very much longer, and then he would have eventually got stopped. Anyways, I know that's kind of a cop-out to some people, but I think George Groves was in total control of this fight at the point of the stoppage, and I think he would have handled this business, and I think he would have finished him anyways. But all in all, congratulations to George Groves. Great fight. And shout out to Chutinov, too. I mean, he came into the hostile territory, went into George Groves' backyard, and, he held his own for as long as he could. And
looked good.
It was a great fight. Yeah, he did look very good.
I thought he looked good up until that 6th round. Yeah, I thought he looked good.
The fight was in the balance. The fight was in the balance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was close.
100%, man. That was not a
You're 100% right, Eric. You're 100% right.
Let's switch gears here. Michael Conlon versus Alfredo Chanez. And I know we touched on this just a few calls ago. Conlon looked very sharp. We touched on the audience there. Conlon looked very sharp in this fight, man. It looked like he jumped miles from his last fight. Very sharp, good defense, good offense. Chanez complained to the referee throughout the fight about fouls that didn't occur, throwing himself to the ground, and anything you could possibly imagine. You could tell he didn't want to be there. Conlon ultimately knocked him out in the third round. Conlon looked very good. Chanez, I mean, he was complaining the entire fight, so what do you do with that? Orlando Salido versus Aristides Perez. I tell you what, if Orlando Salido gets a bout with Vasil Lomachenko off this performance, there's something wrong. No way this version of Salido is even competitive against Lomachenko. Salido was dropped in round 3, but came back to win by TKO when Perez couldn't come out for the 8th round. In case you were wondering, Perez is 30 wins, 10 losses, and only 16 knockouts, or 16 knockouts, I shouldn't say only. And if you're having this type of trouble with a journeyman, well, you know what I'm getting at here. I don't put too much stock into him. But that's the fight they're hyping, though. They're fighting they're hyping that Orlando Salido and Lomachenko fight. I, for one, hope it doesn't happen, but, hey, what do I know? So there you go. 508, you are live.
What's happening, people?
Oh.
Hi, Georgie. How are you?
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
And forever and ever and ever and ever.
Brother.
Oh, man. I was pulling for you too, Georgie. I'm sitting there, and we had talked about this all week. It was such a huge thing. In about the 5th round, I looked at this fight, and I'm watching. I'm like, there's no way anybody's getting knocked out. This is completely a distance fight. I was like, man, and boy, did that tide turn quick after that 6th round.
I told you guys.
Man, listen, Brook, he did what he could, bro. He did his thing, but he lost to the better man. The truth. Strap season, man, down. What can you say, man? He did it, bro. And Spence, he's like, Errol is like commodity in boxing because he promoting himself, right? He ain't signed with nobody. Right?
No. Who did he say? He's with PBC. He signed out with Al Heyman.
Yeah, but I don't think he signed to a promoter. He signed to Al Heyman. But again, somebody's getting.
A lot of guys are like that, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right.
I think a lot of guys are like that.
No, he's not officially signed to a promoter, but he is a PBC fighter.
It's just like when they used to sign with Carl King as the manager and Don King as the promoter.
Well, that's true.
Well, when you don't have a promoter like that in boxing, you're always vulnerable of what these matches may do to you, Because, I mean, he do have Al Heyman on his side as an advisor, but it's not the same.
Well,
so every time he shows...
He's got Al Heyman behind him. Nobody's going to screw him over, not with his talent. Don't worry about that.
Well, I thought like he would have gone to England. He probably got robbed, But I knew that the only way he could have won was on by knocking the guy out, by knocking Brook out. But I was surprised to see the scorecards and most of the judges got Spencer winning.
That's
I thought
right.
it would be the other round. Way around, but I was wrong.
Tough fight to score.
Beeb's Enterprises, they came out of the water. That's good for him. He could not take another loss. But, yo, Beeb, I'm going to do that video tomorrow, brother, man. You won't fair and square, so, hey, nothing to say there. Now, the question is, what is Keith Thurman going to do? I mean, because Keith Thurman, I would say he got the best IQ in 147. Boxing IQ, this man has to be respected, really intelligent. But if intelligent enough is that going to be enough to avoid Errol's power? I don't know about that. Because when Keith fought Danny, he hit him really hard in the first 2 rounds, let him know what's going on. But I don't think that Keith can hit it that hard. Or be that intelligent to keep Errol at bay. So like Robbie said, I think Errol will smoke anybody in 147.
Yep. Keith, one time a year, Thurman, everybody.
Yeah. Even with Thurman's IQ in there, I still don't think. I mean, it's not like Spence doesn't have. I mean, Spence is just as good. And skill-wise, I think he's got more ways to win. I think he's got more tools to win. I really do.
Yeah,
I've thought this for a long time. I've been the one touting Errol Spence for a long time, saying that he's going to be he's the heir apparent in the welterweights, man. He's the next guy. Even when they were talking about Thurman and Garcia, I've always thought Spence was the guy.
No, I firmly believe Errol is going to dominate the entire division. Everybody's going to fall.
Yeah, I think so too.
It ain't much that anybody can do, really, because if you see, like, Brook did it all. Brook did it all. Have movement, angle, holding, pushing. I mean, he did it all, bro. You couldn't really ask for another thing for Brook to do.
No.
He did everything that a boxer could have ever fucking do. He did it in there, and it didn't work.
I think you saw the best version of Kell Brook you're going to see. I really do, man. I mean, because he came to fight, and he fought well.
Hands down.
He fought well.
If there is no man you could have put on the planet, there was no man in 147 pounds that you could have put on the planet with better skills, and would have come to the same outcome. It would have come because he did it all, brother. He did it all. You couldn't ask for anything else, man, and it wasn't enough. It's just this guy power. Errol's power is just like something to be behold, bro.
Think about what was stacked.
He remind me like a John Trinidad.
Yeah.
Two-fisted hands, man, and determination is like a John Trinidad out there.
Yeah.
So you cannot really fuck with that one. You got that type of relentless power that eventually gonna get you. 12 rounds is out. It's eternity.
It sure
it's an eternity. Round after round without bullshit. It's just going to get to you.
Absolutely. And how much was stacked against Errol Spence? You know, he's got to travel over to England to the guy's hometown. It's his hometown right there in front of 30,000 people. You know, they're all rooting for Brook. You know, Brook's coming down in weight. He's you know, Brook felt the power of a middleweight. He's coming down in weight. You know, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going against him. I mean, judging, you know, you talk about the judging in England and everything like that. And Spence, man, just took it all with a grain of salt and went out there and just did his job, man. That was impressive. It was very impressive.
Because before Errol got this belt, he used to be the king of the sparring. All these stories you heard about Errol sparring, and I heard this guy, and heard Mayweather, and heard the other one, and he sparred with the Charros and give them work. I mean, when you hear all these stories behind him, you think, okay, man, the man is a gym legend, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not much you can, not everybody's seen these sparring matches, so you don't know, so you follow what people say. But after this fight, man, the dude's certified.
Oh, for sure.
He's certified, that's it.
For sure.
Just a matter of time before Kid gets good. I mean, he's getting better from his surgery. Hopefully his elbow be no issue, because I don't want to hear no excuses either, but man, it's over. 147, he's just over. He locked it down. It's going to be like Terrence Crawford. Eventually, he's going to have to move up. Just a matter of time before he grab all those belts. And there's nobody besides Thurman who can pose a challenge. I mean, he will smoke Danny. Danny with his slow, flat-footed shit. Danny's done. 147, Danny's done.
Yeah, he's going to have a tough time. I think he would have a tough time against Spence for sure.
You know the scary thing about yesterday too is, and I told this to Eric, he was a little bit off yesterday. He said his timing was off. He said he felt like he could have been a lot sharper. So that wasn't even the best Spence we saw yesterday. Imagine that. You know?
Yeah, he's a scary guy, man, for sure.
Brook's speed was impeccable. Brook looked really good with his speed. I knew he was a little faster than Errol, but you just cannot let this man pull with his hands on you. Even if you try to use counter punching on him being quicker, like Brook tried to do, I mean, Brook did it all, man. I'm just really impressed with Brook, but he did it all, and he didn't work, man. So I don't see nobody out there doing anything that Brook did that is gonna, is gonna affect this cat, because he didn't even lose steam. Errol, at the end of the fight, he wasn't even breathing hard, bro.
You know another thing I was
sweat.
Another thing I was thinking too, because you look at this guy, you said to yourself, how could he have not done better in the Olympics? But watching this fight yesterday, I said to myself, this guy has the perfect style for the pros. And he had 12 rounds to work with. Think about it. Like,
yeah.
Definitely broke him down to the body.
He stopped on those favorite points on points. Like, if you try to look for points on Errol, just not there. It's just about connecting
his thing is about connecting with power. It's not really like touching you. When he hits you, he makes sure he hits you hard. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, and he has 12 rounds to work with instead of 3, so that's the big difference too.
Not enough that we can say about dude. You know, it's just the dude's the beast. It's over. I know you got more guys on the line and whatnot. I gotta make this quick. I will put the video tomorrow for Beeb, so he won't stand square. And the man's the champion. Can't wait to hear his intro. Up to you, Beeb.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Georgie. Thank you. Georgie always pays up his bets. That's what I love about Georgie. He always pays up his bets. He's always gracious in defeat, just like he is in winning, and he always pays up, man. If he's wrong, he'll tell you. He's a man of his word, man. If he's wrong, he'll tell you.
Yeah, we gotta respect him.
Absolutely. 1-1-1-1. You are live. Or maybe not. Maybe you're just listening. I don't know. Hello?
Yeah, when it comes up 1-1, it's normally a block call.
Yeah.
All right,
we'll leave him. There we go. 773, you are live.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Dale.
Hey, Dale, what's up?
Dale.
How are you?
Good, man, good.
Good. Right on. Yeah, hey, I was calling. I went to the Conlon fight, and you just call in. I did. Joey touched on a lot of the stuff, as well as the first Chicago guy, whoever that was, but I didn't catch his name. But Chi-Town.
That was Mike.
Yeah, that was Mike.
Mike, okay, awesome. All right, well, shout out to Mike, as well as Joey. You guys touched on a lot of it. I went there, and the UIC lower bowl only. You've been there, Eric. It's 5,000 on lower bowl, and then the whole deal is 9,500. And that was exactly my guess, about 2,000, 2,500 maybe. So, and that place looks, it's just, and a lot of it was concentrated on one side, so totally empty, half, at least it was definitely half empty, literally. And as a White Sox fan, I'm used to sitting in half empty stadiums, but that's the card. I mean, that's it. The people, there's a good Irish population here in Chicago, and not just Irish American, actual hi, I just moved here and I still have a brogue, Irish community here, kind of like in Boston, Beeb, but definitely a passionate crowd there. The people that were there were into it, it was the hardcores, and it was Irish people that were chanting the whole time. So the atmosphere was good, but the place was half empty. And you know what? It all goes 100% to the freaking card. It's a second pro fight.
Yeah.
And horrible card. And it's okay, we went, it's fun, whatever, we're into it. It's not that I don't live that far. It's easy for me. So whatever, let's go. Have some fun. But who the hell is going to be oh yeah, let me freaking clear my calendar for this one? No.
Well, the thing
and we're in Chicago. There's a lot of stuff to do.
The thing I didn't like about this whole thing is it was either in Thursdays or Friday's Chicago Tribune. There was a big article that somebody from the Tribune interviewed Bob Arum, and he openly said, well, I don't like going to Chicago because it's not a fight town. Every time I do a card there, it sucks. And he says, well, I hope people show up and prove me wrong. I mean, what kind of publicity is that?
Yeah, who wants to buy a ticket now?
You're gonna diss the city that you're in, and you're trying to promote a card, and meanwhile you're gonna put out negative things, and you're gonna say negative things about the place where you're supposedly putting on a card. Makes me wonder. I know he's 85 years old. Maybe it's time for him to get the hell out of the business. I mean, for God's sake, don't say stuff like that.
I agree, and it was in Thursdays. It was David Haw. He's a main columnist in the Tribune, and he covers all the sports, which is great.
Yeah.
He did a piece on that, which I appreciated. He did a thing on Adrian Granado's runner fight. So he will, when something's coming to town, he will cover it, which thank goodness. And I read that piece too, and I saw him. I was like, "F you, man!" screw you, Bob. And I read that, and part of me was like, well, yeah, I am going to show up. That's you. But at the same time, it's like, well, what are you giving us to show up to? You know, you got to be kidding me. Thank God the tickets weren't that much. I would have been really free. I kind of still almost felt ripped off. But, yeah, he said that, oh, I know. And he talked about that fight in 1980 with Hagler at the Rosemont Horizon. Instead of going to Chicago Stadium because Bill Wirtz didn't get him a good enough deal. And by the way, I believe him 100%. Bill Wirtz, historically one of the worst sports owners of all time. I'm a lifelong Blackhawks fan and the worst. His son, totally different story, 180, completely turned the franchise around. You see, we've had 3 cups in 5 years. Before we had 3 cups since 1926. So that's another story.
But you know what? You're in better
but at the
shape.
same time, you know what, Bob? It's your fault.
You go.
It's your fault. You can't blame it on Bill Wirtz 37 years ago. It's your fault.
Nope.
Exactly. Yeah. So with that said, yeah, it was kind of a bummer. I'm glad the people that were there were actually making it a good good atmosphere, but man, that was rough. And Saucedo too, I was excited to see him because I get to see him just freaking putting dudes out. Uimas, all those Oklahoma cards, but he's from Oklahoma City, but yeah, I think he put the brakes on a little bit. I don't know if Abel. It was cool to see Abel Sanchez, a little bit of a fanboy there. It's Sanchez, 20 feet away from me, but I think they said, hey, you're ahead. Don't whatever. You don't need to. He almost seemed like he kind of let off the gas a little bit. I mean, it was a total shutout. Didn't matter, but in any case, yeah, going to that point. Totally, the card was you got to put it. There was one Chicago fighter. I didn't even get to see him because he probably fought at like 6:15.
That's one Chicago fighter.
Carrillo.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just ridiculous.
It's horrible. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah. And he's a guy that he's on a lot of those UIC shows. He's like an opening act. For the most part, he's a super lightweight. Yeah, I mean, it's good, but that's it, man. It's and to Joey's point, Hits is going to have Mike Lee and all these guys and stuff. It's like, yeah, and Mike Jimenez. People come out for that. So
yeah.
You know what? Yeah. It's just the card was brutal. Whatever. It's fun to go see live boxing, and Conlon did look good against a guy who
looked great.
Did not want to be there.
No,
and
he sure didn't.
Had his freaking Domino's uniform on. Seriously, like he may let his Subway uniform still on. I mean, he did not want to be there. For a guy from TJ, I mean, those guys are tough, man. What the hell?
This guy wasn't.
Anyway, but geez Louise, I mean, dude, can you give me a pair of gloves and some trunks? I'll go in there. Jesus Christ. But
hey, what do you think of Spence and Brook, man? Or did you get to see that?
I did, and I had after 6. That's kind of the the line of demarcation, right? The Mendoza line for this fight. But I had Brook up 4-2.
So did I.
So, a lot of people, a lot of people had it that way.
And then it just sort of started going the other way. And I think maybe like Spence said himself, hey, man, go ahead. Sorry, guys.
No, I just said a lot of people had it that way, man.
Just
very hard fight to score.
Yeah. Real hard. Like the first round, I was like, I don't know what to think right now. Like, I'm gonna give the edge to Brook, and then and then it got a little more clear. But then, but the second half, yes, Spence definitely was turning it on, and you could see Brook kind of, running, the whatever it was, running out of gas a little bit. Oh, not necessarily gas, but getting worn down. And then, like Anrep said, no, I mean, dude, you break your other freaking orbital, it's cool to take a knee. I mean, Brook's gonna be wearing a titanium Lone Ranger mask here pretty soon. So I mean, it's people saying he's quitting, like, dude, whatever. Let me break your orbital bone. You want to keep going?
Yeah, you know what? And I just ran across this on ESPN. I just ran across this on ESPN that Kell Brook will absolutely have to have eye surgery after that Errol Spence fight, leaving the future uncertain. So yeah, for sure. If he is, he's got to go under the knife again. So that's not good, and that should.
Well, like I said,
I would hang.
Like I said, it's time to call it a day.
For sure.
Time to call it a day.
I agree. He's done well. And I know, Robbie, you've talked about this pretty passionately before, as you know firsthand. Like, eyesight is not something to screw around with.
No.
You made a lot of money. Just that's it.
Yep. Don't be a Margarito, brother, and come back, okay? That's all we need.
Exactly.
So, I agree.
Yeah, well put. Perfectly. It was like that looks like Margarito looks like he's wearing a Halloween mask. I mean, dude. Yeah. So,
not good, man. Not good. All right, Dale.
Like in freaking Boardwalk.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right, man. We're going to go ahead and get running, man. I appreciate your call.
All right, see you later.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dale.
Take care.
Stuff. Yeah, he had a good take on the Conlon fight. He's right. He's 100%.
Yeah.
100% right. So 206, you are live.
Hello, you got me?
Yes, 206.
Hello.
Loud and clear. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, so I saw the Spence and Brook fight yesterday, and it was a great victory for Spence, and I was happy to see the belt come home where it belongs. And but I want to poke a couple of holes in the balloon here. I'm not just ready to write off the entire rest of the division. I'm not necessarily convinced that Brook was number one. His best fight was Porter, who in a fight where he benefited significantly from favorable reffing. And that's all Brook had going in. I mean, however brave and honorable he's been in his last few fights, which I agree with, and I don't think that he's not a good fighter, right? But I'm not ready to just completely throw guys like Thurman and Garcia down the pike. I mean, Thurman is lighter on his feet than Brook was yesterday anyway, and he hits harder. He has a little bit of a glass chin, so that's his vulnerability, but he's smart. He knows that he's got a glass chin. Why did he run away from Bendu? So, I mean, props to Spence for bringing the belt home where it needs to be, but I'm not ready to just write Thurman off,
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, you guys do a great show, and I usually listen to you, although not always live, and thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely, man. Well, make sure to call back, man. Don't be a stranger.
Good points.
That's awesome. Great points, man. And he's right. And I tell you what, he's right in the sense that, and he brought up a good point. He's not ready to write off the rest of the division. He's right. We got to see the fight happen. I mean, we all think a certain way. We all think that maybe Spence is the class of division. Doesn't mean he can't get beat. I mean, these are all like professional quality fighters here, man. So definitely right here. 575, you are live.
So what's up, guys? PSC King, Southside Chicago, first time caller.
All right, man.
Oh, welcome to the show, man. Go ahead.
Congratulations on the show. You guys are still going. I've been listening to Joe and Beeb, for years, man. Maybe almost for a minute since you two first came out or something like that. I've been following Joe and Beeb for a minute, and just want to say you always done well on shows, stuff like that. When you're able to interact with everybody, you always done well, always been knowledgeable and stuff like that.
For sure.
So just appreciate you, thank you, the YouTube boxing community, because like you said, you ain't got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else got something to do, but you stay in there. Thanks.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, but anyway, I was at that UIC Pavilion fight, and one thing I like to say, man, is those Irish fans, man, they were straight from Ireland, and they were like mad disrespectful, man. They didn't represent their people really well. They were sloppy, all over the place. They booed during the anthem.
Oh wow!
Which was totally disrespectful. Our national anthem. I was like, you guys come here, top rank sizing, so you can come over here so you can make some money, and you come and you disrespect our flag. Like, you guys, like, you know, he's getting his upstart in the United States of America, and you had the nerve to boo, you know, the national anthem. And like, when it came to their anthem, nobody said nothing respectable. When it came to ours, they made all kind of noise. They were just booing. I was like, man, this is like silly, you know. But I mean, but to be, you know, there's a lot of young kids, but makes you wonder what their parents are teaching them, you know what I'm saying, how to conduct themselves, especially in somebody else's like backyard or stuff like that. Yeah, I almost got into it. One of the guys, you know, they hit one of my people, you know, in the back of the head, jumping up and back and forth, up and down those seats and stuff like that. Because, you know, there's this small seats at the UIC Pavilion. And hit the back of, you know, someone's head, you know, my people's head. And I'm like, yo, you know, I had to check the guy. Like, it was just reflex, you know. And he was like, oh, you know, I'm like, yeah, but, you know, you got to sit down, man. You up on the floor, up in the stands and everything like that, bouncing around everywhere, you know, bumping into people, getting that brother to stand up and down. You know, you just sitting down, you know. But show some respect. Just show some class, you know what I'm saying? They made their people look real bad. And then Michael Collins, oh, man, that guy was terrible, man. He's like the worst prospect I've seen in, like, ever. Like, I'm like, is this the dude that got cheated? I'm like, how is this the dude that got cheated in the Olympics? I was like, how? You know? I think the guy's name was like Alfredo or something like that. You know, this guy that it looked like they picked this dude up off the streets. I ain't even lying, man. It looks like Alfredo, that wasn't even his fighting weight. You know, I don't know where they got him from. He got collar all ripped and stuff like that. I'm like, man, it's gonna be a first round knockout. And he goes like, what, 4 rounds with this guy? Almost?
Yeah, I think it was like 3 rounds.
So, and the referee, he just waved it off because, yeah, it was dirty, man. He was dirty. I was like, man, this dude's a joke. And like, I don't know what he expected, you know, fighting this, you know, Mexican guy. I was like, what did you expect? Did you think this guy was just gonna bowl over or something like that? You know, the dude had a lot of pride, you know, bravado. And then he was showing Michael Collins up, and that's when Michael Collins started really fighting dirty, hitting this dude low and stuff like that. Because the dude was just like, you know, he was juking him for a minute. You know what I'm saying? He juked him for a minute, and Michael Collins missed and stuff. And then Michael Collins all up on his back. And he just roughhoused the dude. I'm like, man, you like 5'5" yourself, and this dude's like, what, 5'2". You know, you got like 3 or 4 inches on this guy. And yeah, I was like, can't you do a better job than that? It was terrible, man. I was just like, this dude's going nowhere, man. And then that's what everybody was saying, like in the crowd. That's what I thought. And I actually was speaking with someone else. He's like, this guy was an Olympian. I expect some boxing. This guy's terrible. Like, you know, where did they get this guy from? So I don't think he's gonna make it, man. To be honest, I don't think he's gonna make it. So somebody's gonna light him up bad.
That's interesting, man. Because I actually thought he looked pretty good. I thought he looked miles better than where he was in his first fight to where he is now, just his second fight. I thought he made a lot of progress. I thought Chanez, the guy he was fighting, Alfredo Chanez, you know, it didn't look like that guy wanted to be there at all. I mean, it really didn't. I didn't think that guy put up much of a fight. It didn't, to me anyway, it didn't look like he wanted to be there. So that's kind of where it was. It's funny to see, like I said, you were there live. I'm watching it on TV. It's funny to hear those two perspectives, though. You know what I mean? And it's always different. Like I said, it's always different, you know, from your vantage point, for sure.
Yeah, that was the crowd perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's what they were touting him out to be, some Olympic standout, top rank, you know, top prospects and stuff like that. I mean, anyway, moving along, I wanted to talk about the, you know, that 90 seconds. Pavilion. You know, a lot of people say it's like small and stuff like that, but look, if you go there, you definitely are going to run into the boxers coming in out of gate 2, which is like a section 106 and stuff like that. So if you hang around 109 or 106, you're gonna run into the boxers. Guess who I ran into? Guess who I ran into? I ran into Bob. I ran into Bob Arum. I got 60 seconds. Abel Sanchez. I got a picture with Abel Sanchez.
That's awesome.
I didn't see Robert Garcia but yeah, if I hanged around gate 2, I would have saw him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where they got to exit. You know, it's a small arena. That's where they got to. You know what I'm saying? And who did I see? Granado, Adrian Granado, because I know his people, but I saw him. He recognized me. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, so I was talking to him. He mentioned that he got a fight coming up. His people told me like early in the month, if not last month, they was going to be in June, but he was talking about in July. I give you a hint. It might be old boy that put Crawford on with Top Rank. So that's a hint. You know what I'm talking about. He might be fighting him. So, and then I saw Terrence.
10 seconds.
Crawford is big. This dude is lean. He's very muscular, man. He's a big dude. He is not a small man at all.
Wow.
You know, he might look like thin and slender and stuff like that. Hold on, man. Thin and slender and stuff like that. Other than that, he's a big guy. And then that's about it. I can't think about anybody else I saw there. I saw a whole bunch of people at UIC Pavilion. Tommy Karpinski, everybody. Well, Arthur Spilka, everybody.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, thank you for your time, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And call back, man. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, brother.
Good stuff, man. I love it. I tell you, it's fun to hear their fight perspective. Like when they go to a live fight.
Yeah.
When you watch it on TV, it's completely different.
Sure is.
You're there live. I mean, you got the crowd, you got everything going on. Very, it's unfortunate. Like I said, I mean, and I noticed that yesterday in England, they were booing the national anthem. He said they were booing the national anthem in Chicago and everything like that. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, remember when Felix Trinidad fought William Joppy in New York? And they just completely massacred that anthem. I mean, when it came on, you couldn't hear it. The boos were so loud. And what was it? A couple months later, you couldn't hear a pin drop when that anthem was playing, man. I mean, you could hear a pin drop when that anthem was playing because everybody was so respectful and light. And of course, you guys know what happened in between there. And unfortunately that, hopefully we don't have to have that for, everybody should respect both anthems or any anthem that gets played, and hopefully it doesn't, that's just unfortunate to hear. So there you go. 619, you're live.
Hey, Eric, Beeb, Robbie, how's it going? Is your friend of Chakal?
Chakal, what's up, man?
What's up?
What's up?
He texted me
not
literally
much.
30 seconds after the fight ended. He texted me, he said, Beeb Industries. He said,
oh, he's part of my Mexican division over there.
That was so great.
I've actually given him a position with Beeb Industries. We're branching out into the international streams.
That was so great, man.
It was funny because, I always was on the same boat that you guys. I thought that, Errol Spence was gonna pass through Kell Brook, and he was probably, he was gonna knock him out. I saw a little bit of a different fight than what he came, but I mean, at the end of the day, I saw a knockout. So when I heard about the bet and everything, and I think it was last show when you explained very well about what was the bet about, I just started thinking about the ringtone. I mean, the tone that you sound that you always do when Georgie coming. And
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
the
poor
new
guy.
fool.
You're
Yeah,
gonna have to live with that one for a while.
King Joffrey. I think you might be stuck with King Joffrey, man. I don't know.
I know. I mean, I was like, I wasn't, completely impressed with what happened. And I'm gonna say, I mean, I have to agree with the guy that called, I think, like 2 or 3 callers ago, that said about, the pretty much about how Errol Spence fought, but then where do we leave Errol Spence right now after the fight? I think, sometimes we get too much in the hype, and then we feel that the guy will be, some sort of like an invincible guy because we're trying to find that guy that, is unbeatable. And, that's what is actually, fun to watch right now. Like the division is pretty good. I would definitely put Errol Spence as one of the best welters right now. And I was actually even before fighting Brook. However, I have to give also Thurman his respect because we go through his career and we go through the opposition that he fought. And when you start looking on that, either way, get it, I mean, like it or not, I mean, he's still undefeated. And I don't see that he had got any decision, like controversial decision that you might say, you know what, they gave him that fight. So, I mean, he earned those fights. And one of the cool things about him is, you know, his ability to adapt to every single situation. He's been hurt in a fight, which is really good because you know, like you want to see a fighter in adversity and see what is he going to do. And I mean, we saw him when he got hurt by Soto Garras, and then when he was hurt by Luis Collazo with the body shot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy definitely knows and has the enough skill and IQ to come out from adversity. Obviously, those guys are not at the level of Errol Spence, but he has seen adversity. And then he already fought Sean Porter. He already fought Danny Garcia. He already fought a couple of good names. And we cannot measure everything just with regards to like, okay, he didn't knock him out, so he's less good than the other guy. You know what I mean? Because we need to understand that there's guys that are gonna have it easier than other ones. You know what I mean? Like in this case, Golovkin. Golovkin, it's a master of the KO. He's a really good offensive guy. So we obviously are expecting those outcomes. And I mean, Thurman hit hard and everything, but I think the guy has evolved since he saw that adversity. And he's, you know, first is risk-free. You know, like I'm going to get there. I'm going to try, like he said, I'm going to try to look for the knockout. But if that's not going to happen, I'm going to go to my number one priority, which is win. So in this case, Errol Spence looked really good. And like I said, I mean, Kell Brook was a really good fighter. However, the only fight that we saw with him when he was like really, I mean, like his best name was Sean Porter. And the fight with Porter was a competitive fight. It can go either way. So after that, you know, the only other fight, like Errol Spence said, I mean, you only have two fighters in your resume that we could say, and you lost to one of them, and that was Triple G. And we knew that fight, basically, you know, he was in disadvantage. So in this case, we saw it this time. I think we, like, you know, like you guys said, we might saw the best version of Kell Brook. However, maybe that best version is not just good enough to beat an Errol Spence, but we don't know if we already saw the best version of Thurman, and we don't know how Errol Spence is going to look on that one either. So I don't know if you guys agree with that, or you guys think that just Errol Spence will smoke everyone in the welterweight division?
I do. I've been saying it for a long time now, man.
You do.
I've been saying it for a long time that I thought Spence was the heir apparent last night, man. You know, he beat Kell Brook, and Kell Brook is a really good fighter. Kell Brook looked great last night. That was the best Kell Brook you're going to see, and he got beat. I mean, there's no two ways about it. I mean, that fight from the sixth round on. Yeah, from the sixth round on, man, that fight was one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you think that Kell Brook would have beat like Thurman, for example?
Yeah, I do. I was talking to Beeb about that last night. I said that I thought that the Kell Brook that we saw in the ring last night would have beat Thurman.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. No question.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I feel, I guess I have a little bit more of, you know, reserves with respect to Thurman. So I still give him the benefit of the doubt that he could kind of like rise to the occasion.
More proven.
And maybe have a more competitive fight. And it might be, you know, like I like Errol Spence, and I think Errol Spence is definitely one of the most gifted fighters there. He's super strong. He's big. And I don't think right now, even that I like and I respect Pacquiao a lot, I don't think he's a good opponent anymore for Errol Spence. I think Pacquiao should just stay away from him. And, you know, like I would like to see maybe Crawford in like maybe next year or a year and a half when Crawford is more based on the welterweight division. Because, you know, what Crawford also lives to his fights, so he always changes his strategy and he rises up to the occasion. So you know, like that will be a good one. But yeah, like I think right now with Errol Spence, he definitely set up a statement there, and it's nice that he did that he went over there and to get the belt the way it's supposed to be, go to the champion's backyard and get it from it. So I'm very pleased to what we saw. And I mean, I think we have a really good fighter there on the welterweight division.
It's already such a stacked division anyway. I mean, wow. I mean, you add him to the mix. It's just, you can't, I mean, the fights you can put together, all of them, I mean, are good fights. Especially when you start putting the names against Spence. I mean, they're all good fights. They're all going to be good fights. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And let me ask you, what do you guys thought about the George Groves fight? That was the one that I was a little bit uncertain. I didn't think
absolutely.
I thought he was going to win by decision. And I put him on. I put it on Groves, so I'm happy because I follow you guys' advice because I was close to pay shooting enough. But I was like, you know what? I don't know. I think Groves is in his backyard. If it's a decision, I think he can pull it out. And, he ended up knocking out. So what do you guys think about him and Miguel? Do you guys think it will be a good fight? Who do you prefer on that one?
Listen, I'm just saying, I called it, right? I called it. You asked me, I told you who was going to win, and he won. That's the bottom line. Yep. I tell you what, George, I was really happy for George Groves. I mean, this is his fourth shot at a world title. And you know what? A lot of people don't even get that, don't get one opportunity. He's gotten four. And, when you lose a second time, it's got to go through your head like, man, maybe this isn't for me. But he didn't. He stuck with it, and he kept with it, and I couldn't be happier. And I thought he was losing the fight, honestly. I thought he was losing the fight.
I'm going to go with George Groves in the DeGale rematch. I think George Groves has James DeGale's number. And I love James DeGale as a fighter.
I hate James DeGale.
Oh, wow. It's UK's finest. Can't say that about him, please.
Wow. Well,
I like his sister.
I
like him.
Definitely want to see that fight, and then especially now that we have a new player in that division, Benavidez. I think that kid is gonna definitely bring a lot of surprises, and he's gonna be a really good challenger there. So
like I said earlier to call with Errol Spence being king of the 147 division now, I think David Benavidez is going to be the new king at 168. Everybody's going to have to deal with him, even Triple G if he eventually moves up. I think David Benavidez is going to be the truth, and everybody's going to have to deal with him.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time, and if they know how to guide that kid. I think the kid loves the sport. He likes to train. He's not like his brother. So
the scary part about this whole thing is he's only 20 years old, so he's got a hell of a future, man.
I know. I thought he was on Al-Haymon stable until I heard that he was with Samson Lealkovich. So I was like, okay, that's good. So now what I'm waiting is that they put the guy, I mean, I think he's ready for a title fight, but I think I wouldn't mind if they put him, in another fight prior to a title match. So I think the guy, as long as he fights continuously at least 3 times a year, we're definitely going to have a good champ there. And I'm pretty sure he's better than Zurdo Ramirez. Zurdo, I think, is a little bit overrated. And, he's okay. I think his best performance was against Arthur Abraham. But, I don't know. I just haven't been convinced about that guy because I don't see the punch there. So I think the other guys, especially Benavidez, can definitely be a name on the 168 and get all those guys. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. With Triple G, I don't know what his future is gonna be. I just see that the guy still makes weight. On the middleweight division, he's still good on it. So he might not necessarily need to move up. Plus, there's still fights from him there, especially if he beats Canelo. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with Triple G if he really wants to move up in weight. But definitely, we see guys like Jacobs that is actually having a hard time getting into the middleweight division. We see guys like Lemieux, that those guys are going to have to move up. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see them fighting over there. So my last thing really quick about the Triple G and Canelo fight. I want to say that I strongly disagree with you guys with respect to the outcome. And I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to see a surprise on September 16th because the fight is not going to be as one-sided as you think. Right now, I have to accept, and I admit it, that that Triple G is the favorite, but I feel that a lot of people are kind of like, underrating Canelo, and I don't think he's gonna get knocked out. I think if the only problem there with the Chavez fight is that the only thing that I wanted about that fight was the fact that I was gonna see how Canelo reacts with a good punch from a big guy, but I didn't see it. So that's why I'm a little bit upset about the whole thing, because that doubt didn't go away. But the way I see Canelo physically built, I think the guy has a really good physique, and I think he will be able to take a good punch. People always go back to the fight with the brother of Miguel Cotto, but I mean, I think everybody could go back to fights when other fighters were younger. And, that fight for me doesn't mean anything because Canelo was another person at that moment. It was like 6 years ago, maybe even more. I think Canelo was like 19 on that one. So I cannot take that as a reference. And I understand you guys' point about the fact that he hasn't fought a big puncher, and I get it. But the way he looks, that he's built, I think he will be able to take the punch. And I don't know. I mean, I see Triple G doing a lot of things, but I feel Triple G, little by little, I see him more like Nonito Nodair. He fell in love too much of his power, and little by little, every single recent fight, I just see him throwing, those mean left hooks and those mean right shots, trying to decapitate the opponent. And, you need to set up more the traps. I think his jab is really good. And that's definitely going to be one of the key parts that Canelo needs to figure out how to avoid. But I think if Canelo is good enough to just stay there and counterpunch and sometimes even wrestle with Golovkin, which I think he can because he has the body, I don't know, maybe we see a fight closer than we think. And if the fight doesn't end up by knockout, Triple G is not going to have it that easy to get the decision. I mean, I hope Canelo can pull it out, decently, without any questions, without any controversy, so people will, at least some of the people will give him his credit. But I just want to say that I don't agree completely on Beeb's review on that one, that he will get destroyed in like 9 rounds or something. I think Canelo has more to give. He's in his moment right now. He's 26, turning 27. And one or not, I think Golovkin is already 35, and even that the guy hasn't been in wars, but he's been in a lot of fights already. So you never know. It might be the right time. And the only thing I'm going to say is Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, even Chavez said it. And I think those guys know a lot about boxing, and especially Duran and Leonard, because obviously Chavez, people might think that it's now because he beat his son. But I think Leonard and Duran already said it, that he will beat Triple G. So I'm on that boat. So we'll see.
There you go.
Beeb,
on record.
Beeb Industries will be putting all its chips on the table again for that one. It could be do or die for Beeb Industries. You may see me on here.
I think
the peach basket strapped around me if I lose that one.
He's got to say that he doesn't want to be deported out of Mexico, brother. So, he's got to stick up for his country.
Well, the only thing I'm gonna say to all you, I mean, the Triple G fans, and like, for example, like Beeb, is like, if you feel really sure about what you think, I think this is the right time for you to bet everything that you have on Triple G, because you will never that low.
Beeb Industries is liquidating everything.
Minus 160 is like a gift.
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
For sure.
We're liquidating everything, man. We're doing all of our assets, all the condos, everything. We're liquidating everything.
Basically, Yeah, it's basically, I feel like it's basically a gift. You know, it's like, for example, how I was so sure that Canelo was going to beat Chavez Jr. If I was a Triple G fan or just a guy that watched boxing, I'm so sure about Triple G, I feel that this is the right moment to put money on him, because every single time that he fights, the odds are like 100-1, 40-1. So it's not even worth it to put money, because you just put $100 and you get like $2. So now with this one, you just put $160, you get $100. So I think it's a really good one, good odds. And trust me, if the Mexicans, if they do a good promotion, and the Mexicans start getting on board, I guess if they put a lot of money, maybe we even
money. You know why? Because Canelo got a whole country behind him.
We see a favor.
A whole country.
What's that?
We're gonna get even money come fight time, because Canelo got a whole country behind him. A whole country.
Yeah,
everyone's gonna bet on. Everyone's betting on Canelo.
That Chapo is putting a couple of millions there, so you know, like we're gonna back up the cinnamon tank. So we'll see. Hopefully it won't disappoint us, and at least he dies there fighting, and he doesn't take a knee, and I'll be fine with that. Or obviously even worse, he doesn't pull like a Chavez Jr. performance, because that will be brutal.
Don't worry, Golovkin will put him out quick. It's okay. We'll take him out quick. You won't have to witness a beatdown.
Very nice to talk to you, and I can't wait for that day. We'll see what happens.
There you go.
That's right, baby.
All right, good call, brother. Good call.
Good call.
All right, take care.
Luck is for the mediocre.
Oh, wow.
And then what Canelo said, luck is for the mediocre. Hey, listen, I still haven't come out one way or the other. Like I said, man, if you asked me today, I would say Triple G, but I still got to break it down and analyze it and stuff. I don't, hey, that fight could go either way, man. That fight could absolutely go either way.
Eric moves like the thermometer. He's always up and down. So,
whatever way, let me tell you something. Whatever way the wind's blowing, that's the way I'm pointing. All right, like a weather vane, baby. That's how
just like the whole Mayweather Pacquiao thing. I said right from the jump that Mayweather would win. I said right from the jump Golovkin would win. I am not wavering. I don't care if he just beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know, he virtually beat a mannequin. I don't care he did that. I don't care he did that.
That's like disrespecting Pacquiao. How dare you?
Golovkin is Golovkin is no Danny Jacobs.
Hand wraps is
Canelo is no Danny Jacobs. Excuse me.
Hand wraps is in the chat. And he's still complaining about his disrespecting Manny Pacquiao.
Hand wraps, do not worry. It's okay.
Who wins, hand wraps? Is this Triple G or Pacquiao? Who wins?
Boxing is not for senior citizens. You got to fight somebody.
Yeah, you also
who the
said.
Fuck is Jeff Horn?
Yeah, you also said Khan was going to beat Canelo. You didn't waver on that one either.
It was a lucky punch. I mean, he was up on the scorecards.
Punch.
I mean, he was up with the scorecards.
He
was winning the fight. He was taking Canelo to school. Please. You know, I really thought Khan was going to win that. Didn't you? He looked good, man. You see how he busted up his eye? I mean, come on.
He looked great. I mean, he really did. He looked great for the first couple minutes of the fight. He looked awesome. He looked great on the ring walk. He had a nice uniform on. Nice.
He had a great roll.
You know, yeah.
The trunks were gleaming. Come on.
And nice shoes, you know. Cupcake in the front row, you know. Yeah. There you go.
You know what jinxed me? You know what really jinxed me?
Canelo's right hand jinxed you.
When he was sleeping on.
No. When Dwyer picked him too, then I said, then I started getting nervous, because every time Dwyer picks the same guy I pick, I always lose. I don't like when he picks. He Joneses me, that guy Dwyer on YouTube. I love him to death, but I don't like when he picks the same guy I pick. I'm sorry.
There you go. Let's talk about the upcoming fights here on June 2nd. Is that Friday, right, Robert?
That's Friday.
He's like Rain Man with the dates, man. From LA on Estrella TV, Azat Hovhannissian versus the dreaded TBA. So there's some fights on Estrella TV. And from Philadelphia, this is not televised, but Hank Lundy versus Daniel Evangelista, 8 rounds lightweights. Hank Lundy has went down to lightweight, and he said he wanted to campaign for a title down there. Fighting an 8-rounder against Daniel Evangelista, not going to get it done. So hopefully he's got something else lined up after that. Nope. Sydney, Australia, also on Friday. Lucas Brown versus Matthew Greer, 6 rounds heavyweights. What's he doing fighting 6 rounds?
Wow.
My goodness. June 3rd, the big one. From Montreal on Showtime, Adonis Stevenson versus Andrew Fonfara. A rematch, 12 rounds for Stevenson's WBC light heavyweight title. Eleider Alvarez versus John Pascal, also on the card, 12 rounds, light heavyweights. And that is it, I believe. Wow. Let me double check it. Not a whole lot on TV. Yes, that's it. That is done. There you go. That is your card for next week. But let's talk about the Stevenson fight. I tell you what, I like Adonis Stevenson, but I think he's very one-dimensional. It's a very good dimension, don't get me wrong. But I think Fonfara gets him, and I think he beats him in his hometown. I think Fonfara beats him, and I think that Fonfara gets a decision out of this. He's not I don't think Stevenson gets out of here with his title.
I'm going to have to disagree. I thought Stevenson did very well in the first fight. I didn't see anything in the first fight. I didn't see anything from Fonfara since that gives me any indication that he's going to beat Stevenson. I just think the power is what turns the fight around. And I think to beat Stevenson, you have to fight a fast-paced fight. And Fonfara really doesn't do that. I mean, he's more of a counterpuncher type guy. He's got a good jab and stuff, but I just don't think that his type of style and the pace that he fights at is going to be troublesome for Stevenson. Stevenson, again, you got 2 counterpunches. Someone's going to have to take the lead. But I think Stevenson being the harder hitter, I think he's going to have more impactful punches in this fight. I think he stops Fonfara. I think he stops him.
I don't think so. Man. What about you, Robert? You break the tie.
Well, you know what? I think Adonis Stevenson is on his way out. I don't like the inactivity that he's had. His level of competition has been bad, but Andrew, he does know how to beat Andrew Fonfara. He did it before, and Fonfara hasn't been looking real great since they fought the first time either. He lost to the great American hero Joe Smith.
Look what Joe Smith's done since then.
He took Joe Smith too lightly.
That was a lucky shot. If there was ever a lucky shot, that was a lucky shot.
Yeah, it probably was, but I've got to ride with Beeb Industries here and take Adonis Stevenson to retain his title.
Look at you guys, two peas in a pod over here. 2 peas in a pod. You guys are always ganging up on me. Look at you guys. Yeah, I tell you what, I thought it should have been Joe Smith. The guy that I think Reese in the chat just said it should be Joe Smith. Yeah, you're right. I thought so too. I thought Joe Smith should have gotten this title shot.
Absolutely, it should be.
Absolutely,
that's right.
Without question. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad Fonfara got it, but I would much rather see Joe Smith. So there you go.
That's correct.
All right, let's move ahead to news and rumors here. Beeb, it's time. The train wreck of the week.
Chugga, 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 choo choo.
Look at Beeb putting his own little spin on it. I love it.
Spin on it, baby.
Yeah. Adrian Broner spent 3 days in jail this week. Listen to Slammer. I love this song. I jam to it all the time. Unbelievable. Love it. Can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of the Slammer. I pumped the beats, the mad beats by Adrian Broner. Broner pleaded guilty last Monday, to a disorderly conduct charge from an incident at a Kenton County bar back in 2014. While all jail time was suspended, Broner was charged with contempt because this idiot failed to show up for court appearances. He failed to show up. All you had to do, walk in. That's it. 90% of life is showing up. That's really it. All you had to do was walk in. There's no jail time for you. So he was ordered to serve 3 days in Kenton County Detention Center. After the hearing, he was charged, immediately placed in handcuffs, and he's out now. But so he had to go to the Slammer this week. Airhead. It's a complete airhead. This is why it's called the Adrian Broner Train Wreck of the Week. He has been the train wreck of the week more times that I can count more times than anybody else in history, even Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., if you can believe that, all right? Speaking of Adrian Broner, the other big news for Broner, aside from going to the jail, is that his rumored next opponent will be Mikey Garcia, and that is expected to be announced for July 29th. I'm hearing it's at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Yeah, let me tell you what, this ain't good, guys. If you're a Broner fan, this is not good, man. Mikey Garcia is very, very good and should beat Adrian Broner pretty handily. Beeb, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Broner gets past Garcia?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't. I like Garcia a lot. I really do like Mike Garcia. And the thing is Garcia.
Man, this is like knocking a ball out of the park. This is going to be easy. Not only does Broner lose, but he goes to sleep.
Well, I'm not sure he goes to sleep, but he quite possibly could go to sleep. But Garcia is he's just too sharp. He doesn't make many mistakes, and I don't think with Broner just throwing one punch at a time, not being very active, I don't think you're going to beat Garcia with one punch at a time. I mean, he's not going to let that happen, and because
now I'm assuming Eric Garcia goes up to 140 for this.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that
sure,
too.
He ain't coming down.
Which will be fine too. I mean, they're both they both have the frame for 140.
Yeah.
I think Garcia's a big guy too. But you got two counter punchers, but you got another. But one of the counter punches is just better defensively, and he's a better combination puncher, and he's a more accurate, sharper combination puncher. Doesn't throw wide hooks and doesn't load up with shots. You mentioned. Yeah. You mentioned Uzgataki. You mentioned Uzgataki last week. How he just there's no torque to the punch. He just shoots it from the elbow. You know what I mean? And elbow and hip just turns into shots. Garcia is like that. He throws perfectly straight punches, whereas Broner tends to loop things, tends to load him up a little bit. And just Garcia is just a more complete, and that's going to be the difference here. I think skill will win in this fight. I think skill is going to trump everything in this fight, and I think Garcia is clearly the more skilled fighter.
You kind of wonder that if Broner kept his head on straight, and didn't get in all this trouble, he just kept his head on straight, kept in the gym, and kept his skills up. This is kind of a no contest for him. You know what I mean? I think he walks over Mikey Garcia if he does that. Or, I mean, if he was a different fighter in the sense that, if he just played it straight, didn't get into trouble, didn't get all this drama outside of the ring, just a big waste of talent. I mean, in a lot of ways, you wonder if he squandered his best days, and you can't help but think that, and you can't help but think that with Mikey Garcia in the sense that, is this a cash out fight for him? I don't know. I was talking to my dad about this fight the other day, and we were just like, realistically, it's like, I don't see how he gets past him. I really don't. I don't see what he brings to the table that gives Garcia trouble. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know. The ABC wants Leon Lawson banned. The Association of Boxing Commissions, the ABC, put out a statement saying that they want Leon Lawson to be banned for striking Jose Uzcategui after his fight with Andre Durrell. Leon Lawson, incidentally, has been suspended indefinitely by the WBA for his actions, so good for the WBA. Robert, what do you think? Should Lawson be banned for life or banned, period?
Yeah, he should be banned just like Panama Lewis was banned for life. And I got in an argument with Steve Kim on his show on Monday talking about this. And he said, well, you shouldn't take somebody's livelihood away. Well, you shouldn't step in the ring and try to be a fighter when you're a trainer. He should be banned for life. And I think the whole Durrell clan, there needs to be some serious soul searching in that family, because Anthony Durrell acted badly after that fight. I mean, Adrian, he tried to calm things down, but blood is thicker than water. I'm just wondering, do you give these two guys, I'm talking about the brothers now, any more significant fights, because you don't know what kind of element they're going to bring to the ring? I mean, we've had Broner, Darrell, Adrian has been involved in two controversial things now. One was Arthur Abraham, and now this one. And and like I also said on Steve's show on Monday, I have serious doubts in the future whether that commission in Maryland should be sanctioning any more fights. They need to get more experienced people to handle those kind of situations, because the judging in the one fight was terrible, and then you had the referee making the call of disqualifying Jose when the way I read the rules, it should have went to the scorecards, and if that would have been the case, Jose would have won. Darrell's going to get a title shot out of this, and he doesn't deserve a title shot. It's not his fault that he got knocked out after the bell, but I mean, this whole thing just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I think that this guy should be banned for life, and I think we need to put the Darrell clan on notice and put them in. If you're going to have them fight, put them in New York, put them in LA, put them in places that know how to handle situations like this. They were ill-equipped in Washington, D.C. last week to handle what happened there. That's just my opinion.
There you go. Beeb, what are your thoughts on, do you think Lawson should be banned for life?
Yeah, I think Lawson should be banned for 2 lives. I mean, what he did was horrible.
I agree.
No, that really
was a sucker move, man.
Just the way it was done, and it was just the guy. He already fought a fight. His hands were. He was apologetic about what happened. Darrell himself accepted the apology. He understood. They embraced after the fight, and then the way Leon Lawson goes over there, just kind of strolls up there like nothing was happening and everything was cool and copacetic. And then he just steals on the guy, man. Oh, it's such a. I gotta hold my tongue because I don't want to drop F-bombs for the young Bieber maniacs out there. I want to set a good example, but it was just disgraceful, and I was beside myself watching that. I was cringing, and I know Andre Darrell feels embarrassed for his uncle as well, and he didn't want that to happen. So
it's got to be.
Yeah, this guy can't be around a boxing ring ever again when a professional fight is going on. I just think he should be done. I'm sorry.
I would agree with it. Get him out of there. I don't know. Steve Kim, I guess Robert got into it with Steve Kim about this whole thing. I couldn't agree more, man. He needs.
What did Steve Kim say? Steve Kim thinks he should be allowed to continue, or?
Steve Kim, Joe told me that Leon Lawson should be allowed to continue training and be at ringside. You can't hold one incident over his head. I totally disagree with that opinion, and I like Steve.
Respect to Steve Kim. I just disagree. I mean, it is what it is.
Look at Robert going after Steve Kim. Love it. Wow.
I'm surprised Steve took that stance. I'm surprised, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I still respect his opinion.
I do too. Oh yeah, he's always got good takes.
I'll go 15 rounds with anybody. I'm not worried.
Look at Robert, man. Love it. The WBA is not interested in McGregor versus Mayweather. During a press conference this week, Gilberto Mendoza.
Nobody is.
Oh, how dare you?
What difference does it make?
WBA was asked about the fight, and he says, I think this would only be an exhibition fight. I don't think it's good for boxing to endorse it as an official fight. I think both are great athletes, but Floyd is retired, and if he wants to be back, he has to have boxers who can provide a good show, which probably means the WBA will sanction the fight as a regular title bout, not their super title bout.
Well, as I said famously once, the WBA are idiots.
Well, let me ask you this. What difference does it make if the WBA is interested or not?
I'm a fucking idiot.
It's not going to be for a title anyway, so who cares if the WBA is interested in it?
It doesn't, but he's right. I mean, the WBA is right. I mean, it should be sanctioned as an exhibition.
Oh, of course.
Do that. Yeah, they can't do that because it's not an exhibition fight. They're trying to win. They can't, it can't be an exhibition if they're actually trying to win. So,
right.
Exhibition is like a sparring session. This is not that. they're actually going to try to take each other's heads off. So, well, one guy will anyway. Oscar De La Hoya opened up about this fight and penned in a letter to fans about the Mayweather-McGregor fight. De La Hoya this week took to social media to whine and complain about the possible McGregor-Mayweather fight. He called it a circus, said that Conor would get dismantled, and boxing may never recover. De La Hoya is such a crybaby. I mean, he really is. He's such a crybaby. You know, forget about it. You're not promoting it. You have no hands in it. He's over there whining about this, saying that it shouldn't take place. Stop being an idiot. You promote your fight. You got a big fight in September. I know why he's worried.
I'll tell you why he's worried. Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, tell me.
Yeah, well, he's worried because Floyd and Conor are going to take the September 16th date. You watch.
That's what he's worried about. That's nothing else. It has nothing to, let me tell you what, this has nothing to do with boxing. It has nothing to do with the fans. It has nothing to do with Oscar De La Hoya's love for the sport. He's afraid that they will get that. If let me tell you right now, if Mayweather signs that contract and all signs are pointing to this fight might just happen, if he signs that contract, say goodbye to September 16th, because that will be the Mayweather-McGregor date. He will absolutely take that over. There has been no location set for Canelo yet, and Floyd is tight with the MGM. He will take that thing over, and I don't care what anybody says about it. That will be the case. They will not have the fight on the same day. You will not have both of those guys fighting on the same day where one refuses to move. This will be Mayweather's date, and he's even come out. He came out last week and said September 16th is my date. He said everybody knows I fight in May and September, so I think that might even be more interesting than the actual McGregor fight itself. So
somebody salty, somebody salty.
And as I've explained on here before, guys. Once a contract is signed and you notify the cable and satellite people that you want that date, if they get your paperwork first, you get that date. So, see the problem with Golden Boy and with the Canelo and Triple G fight, they may have an agreement in place for the date, but since they don't have everything signed yet, and they don't have a venue. See, that's another thing the cable companies and satellite people look at. Okay, you've got the date, but where's the fight going to be? They're not going to give you the date for everybody to pay for until they know. Okay, the fight's going to take place on this day. It's going to be at this time, and it's going to be at this location. See, with Floyd and Conor, you know that fight is going to take place at MGM. It won't go anywhere else.
Nope.
So they've already got everything in place. As soon as Floyd puts his signature on a contract, kiss September 16th goodbye, and you won't see Canelo and Triple G fight until either October or November.
You know, this is the thing too. A lot of people are saying, "Well, why would you support that fight?" You're not supporting that fight. You don't like it.
Yeah.
You don't like it. Don't buy it. I mean, you're telling somebody.
Exactly. I'm not going to buy it.
You're telling, but for someone, this is a free market economy. Okay, we're not a socialist economy. So if someone wants to sell something, that's legal to sell and it's not harming anybody, any harm to an individual, then why don't they have the right to sell it? This just goes against the American way. Okay, so if you don't like it, you don't buy it. So but if you don't protest against it, because you're not protesting against it, that you're supporting it, you just don't care either way. Like if you don't like it, television, you change the channel. You don't want to buy this, you buy something else. So that's just it. So for Oscar De La Hoya to like do an open letter and do a petition about this, it's retarded.
It's stupid.
It's sour grapes.
That's what it is. And he, like he's doing this big favor for boxing fans and letting everybody know, letting the cat out of the bag, like it's not going to be competitive, like we're all shocked. You're a moron.
Hurt the sport of boxing. It won't. It's not going to hurt it in any way because Golovkin and Canelo will have a beautiful fight, and that will uplift the sport. Anthony Joshua will continue to have great fights, and that will continue to uplift the sport.
What's it going to hurt? It's not going to hurt anything if these two.
How's it going to hurt anything?
Right.
It's not a super fight. It's an event. It's an event.
Everybody who knows anything about boxing knows it won't be competitive. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Maybe we like train wrecks, though. We got a train wreck of the week segment. We love train wrecks. It is what it is. You know, July 15th. I want you to mark this date down, July 15th, because that's the day. Omar Figueroa versus Robert Guerrero will happen because everybody's looking forward to that one. In Uniondale, New York, and Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. And finally, Miguel Cotto versus Yoshihiro Kamagai is set.
That's a super fight.
Super fight. Super event, super fight. Breaks all pay-per-view records. Rock Nation and Miguel Cotto parted ways, so Golden Boy picked up the ball, you know, when he's not yammering on about Mayweather and McGregor. He picked up the ball and is now promoting Miguel Cotto versus Yoshihiro Kamagai. This fight absolutely makes no sense to anyone, but will take place August 26th in the StubHub in Carson, California. I cannot wait to not watch that fight. That'll do it. What's that?
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I'm surprised it's not on pay-per-view.
I think it might be. I don't know that it's not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, it might be. And let me bring up a point about July 15th. That's the same night that Joe Smith is going to fight Sullivan Barrera. That'll be a much better fight than Robert Guerrero.
Totally watching that. Oh, that's that triple header. Yeah, that's
a
a triple header, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that Robert Guerrero fight's pretty good too, Robbie. You don't think that Robert Guerrero fight's going to be good?
And Robert Guerrero, last time he fought, he lost to a damn Mexican cab driver, for God's sake.
Oh, you can't say that.
Oh.
This guy makes an honest living. You can't say that.
You got Trump Jr. over here. What are you doing? What's the matter with you?
Hey, I'm a U.S. citizen. I don't have to worry about my green card. Unlike
Whoa.
And on that note, that'll do it for this.
See you next week, everybody.
That's right. That's right. That'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. You can catch Robert on Twitter. If you go to RealDonaldTrump.com, you know, you can catch him on Twitter at Ringside Robert, or you can call Ringside Robbie's Corner at 917-259-1810. Leave him a message. You can catch Joe Habib and Beeb Industries at Twitter at JHabib1. Find his YouTube channel at BeatingTheOddsWithBeeb.com. I'm at Ringside73, and we will see you next week.
And if you want to go on, start trading stock and buy Beeb Industries, we're on the ticker at BI.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
You guys are on the exchange now.